Big Greg, what's up, y'all? Hi, bro, Josh. It's good to see y'all, family. Good to see y'all. Man, we got a lot of reading to do today, Biggie. What's up, bro? Teresa, good morning. Good morning. Tay, good morning. Blue Gemini, good morning. Hey, Miss Goody, Two Shoes in the building, baby. I love y'all. Aloha, my brother from Hawaii. Hey, Nicole. We got a lot of reading to do this morning. We're going to try to let some of the family get in here because we got a lot of reading to do this morning, okay? Today we're going to go over the Israelites, part 2. Put that on your paper. Pad and pen, King James Version Bible, please. Get your Bible and put it in your lap, put it on your desk so that you can read these words. Don't have no 2023, don't let nobody read to you or at you. You read it for yourself. Tap that screen so we can get some light so people can hear this word this morning. Tap, tap, tap away, please. I really appreciate that. I don't want any money from anybody. Let them know. Please share the live. Let them know that they don't have to pay anything in here. This is all ear payment. We want ears for payment. Okay? We want ears for payment. Tap, tap, tap. Good morning. Hey, sister. The Kimbe is in the building. What's up, Brandy? Hey, Tracy. Tap, tap, tap away. Share the live if you don't mind. Share the live. Come on, family. Let's get in here. Let me get a few more family members in here and we'll get started. As you can see, TikTok has shadow banned me. A lot of people ain't been getting in the lives, y'all. We usually have 400 to 500 to 600 people in here a morning. They're not getting in here. They've been messaging me and stuff. Okay? Tap, tap, tap away so we can get some folks in here. Please. We got enough family members in here to get started. Morning, Jimbo. Morning, Big Sean. Tap, tap, tap away. Mustache is in the building. Mustache is in the building. Hemrock is in the building. I love family members in here, y'all. What's up, Lord? That's what's up. Hey, Haley. You got your Bible? That's how it go. Good morning, Sister Michelle. Much love for you. Everyone, bow your heads. Hey, Ray, bow your heads. Father God, we come before you this morning to ask for knowledge, understanding, and wisdom of everything we're about to read and everything we're about to hear, so that we can apply it to our life and share it with others. All as we ask in the name of your Son, Jesus. Amen. Now, I want you guys to take a look at something. Today, we're talking about the Israelites. We're going to deal with them today. Israelites part 2. We did another one about the Israelites when they did the job. When they did the job. Okay? We're talking about them when they got over to Jordan, how did they follow the commandments up to a certain point with Joshua. Then we talked about how they got and followed the commandments under King David and Solomon. The Israelites are the only race on this earth that actually ever followed the commandments of God. The only race on this earth, okay? So I want you to see something real quick, and I want you to take this in consideration. I had a heated debate with 5 Africans. I was on TikTok, 5 Africans. It took 5 Africans to stop me from telling the truth because they was lying, saying that they was an Israelite. Let me show you guys something. I want you to take a look at this and tell me what you think. Hold on one second. Let me get it set up for you. And I want you to take a look at this. And I want you to read this. Can you see that, family? Let me know. This is the Hamites. Morning. Do you see this? Read this, and I want you to read it twice. Read it, read it, read it. Do you see that? Can you see that? Is it where you can read it? This is documentation letting you know, black man and black woman, you're not African. You're not African. This is facts. These is documents written for the world to see. But yet every black person running around here thinking they African, and you not African. Let's read it again. Let me read it to you. Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 36 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood, he became the progenitor of the dark races. What do that say in red? Put that in the comments. What does that say in red, family? Please, what does it say in red? Please let me, because I don't want to be the only one. It says, not the Negro, but the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, the Canaanites. Genesis chapter 10, verse 6 through 20. His indecency with his father lay drunken brought a curse upon Canaan. We're going to read it again. Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 36 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood, he became the progenitor of the dark races. Not the Negroes. Let's make that clear. Not the Negroes. That's what they call my people, ain't it? So we Negroes, but when it comes to stuff like this, no, it ain't it. Stop listening to these goofies. You are the Israelites. Every black person, woman running around this bad boy with this skin color on them that was taken, you are what's called the Israelites. Do you understand these things? Thank you, Sneaker. I love you. Now look at the bottom part. We know that Japheth is the origin of who? Of the Europeans. We read this. My family know about this. And Ham, the origin of what? Africans, which only leaves Shem. This is who we're going to talk about this morning. And I thought I would just share that with my family, let them know that, hey, you know, stop letting people play with you, man. Stop letting people play with you. Stop letting people play with you. All right? Do you got that information? You can find that information in Zondervan's Bible Dictionary. Put that on your paper. Zondervan's Bible Dictionary. You're not African. Now let's get to this reading. Everybody, open your books up to Genesis chapter 15. Genesis chapter 15. Let's get them out. Stop saying you African, because I had to grind up about 5 Africans about that. It got so bad that they took me out the live. You not what I am, man. Stop trying to. Where was you when they was burning up little girls inside of churches? Where was y'all at when they was sicking dogs and all type of hoses and all that? Where was you at? Where was you at? Now you Israel. You ain't you ain't no part of me. What's up, Joseph? Genesis chapter 15. Let's get it. Family, you're going to be in the book of Genesis all morning. We're going to break these Israelites down. Let's break them down, all right? Let's break them down. Let's get to the bottom of this. In truth, I appreciate all 555 of y'all reading with me this morning. It's nothing but love. I don't want your money. I need them ears. Genesis chapter 15, we got a lot of reading to do. We got about 5, 6 whole chapters we got to read, but we're going to get them out. We're going to get them out. We left off from Tuesday, we left off with Abraham. Now, thanks to Abraham, anybody who confesses that Jesus Christ is their Lord and their Savior, they Israel. Because Jesus is the God of Israel. So that's white, but we are a family. But we are the source. And what people don't understand, God put it in this Bible, all y'all people on this earth, you got to learn from the Israelites about me. This is what God means when he says, love your neighbor like you love yourself. The Israelites got to love their oppressor enough to teach them this book. And the oppressor got to love the oppressed enough to listen to him. Ain't that something? God ain't no joke. He said they put you in bondage, now you got to save them. And if they don't want to listen to you, they toast. But 9 times out of 10, ain't nobody trying to hear about no Israelite when they pants sagging, they got tattoos all over their face, they sitting there with a blunt. But they might be sitting there with a blunt, and you can best believe if they telling you thou shalt the Lord, you better take the time to listen. This is a different world. Whole different world. Now everybody's scattering up out of here because they keep hearing that word Israel, Israelite, Israelite. And it's a lot of people who can't handle this. This world cannot handle. You mean to tell me them black people are the Israelites? They can't handle it. Oh, yes, we are. Genesis chapter 15, let's get it out. Genesis chapter 15, we got the entire chapter. Let's read it to them. Are you there yet, family? Let me know when you get there. We got to pop this. We got a lot of reading to do. People be messaging me, man, I love Fables and Truth, but y'all read too much. What? I had a goofy dude named Facts for God. See, I say your name. This dude for Facts for God, I'm trying to teach him about Ezekiel with Satan. He made up something. Oh, that's a metaphor. When God explained the king of Tyrus, he told him in the first part of that about the man part. Then the second part, he told him, hey, you Satan sitting in you. This goofy gonna say, oh yeah, that's metaphors. This goofy, facts for life, facts for God. Anything you tell him, if he don't understand, he gonna make up something. Straight goofy. I'll never be in his live again, trust me. Supposed to be, I'm gonna say, you know. Genesis chapter 15, let's get it. After these things, the word of the Lord came unto Abram in a vision, saying, fear not, Abram, I am thy shield and thy exceedingly great reward. And Abram said, Lord God, what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless? And the steward of my house is this, Eliezer of Damascus. And Abram said, behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, no one born in my house is my heir. And behold, the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, this shall not be thy heir, but he that shall come forth out of thy own bowels shall be thy heir. And he brought him forth abroad and said, look now toward heaven and tell the stars if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, so shall thy seed be. And he believed in the Lord, and he counted it to him for righteousness. And he said unto him, I am the Lord that brought thee out of the Ur of the Chaldeans, to give thee this land to inherit it. And he said, Lord God, whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it? And he said unto him, take me an heifer of 3 years old, listen closely to this, and a she-goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. And he took unto him all these, and divided them in the midst, and laid each piece one against another, but the birds divided he not. So now Abraham don't took these animals, cut them in half, and laid them one beside each other, just like this. One on that side, in a line, just like this. Now listen closely. And when the fowls came down upon the carcasses, Abraham drove them away. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety, listen to this. Genesis chapter 15, verse 13. Pay close attention. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age. But listen closely. But in the 4th generation they shall come hither again, for the iniquities of the Amorites is not yet full. And it came to pass that when the sun went down and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a burning lamp that passed between those pieces. So the pieces that Abraham put the animals together, it's a little flame that went through the middle of them. Freaked Abraham out. This dream and this vision that Abraham was having was the children of Israel walking through the Red Sea. That's what that vision was. God showed him. He had the animals on each side. He put the little fire, went straight through it, and that represented the children of Israel walking through the Red Sea. Let's get it. And it came to pass that when the sun went down and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a burning lamp that passed between those pieces. In the same day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates, the Canaanites and the Kizitites and the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Perizzites and the Rephaims and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Girgasites and the Jebusites. So God just said, I'm taking the land from all them Africans. Those are the Africans. Now, when we read in Genesis chapter 15, ain't no such thing as an Israelite. It ain't no Israelites. The Israelites ain't nowhere to be found. They're not even made yet. We read Tuesday, the families. We read about the Gentiles, which is our white brothers and sisters, and we read about the Hamites, which is the Africans. Bottom line, these are different races of people. Color does matter in this book. Put it in the comments, because if it didn't matter in the book, why would it be in the book? Color plays a big role in this. Okay? Head over to Exodus chapter 12. Exodus chapter 12. We will be in Genesis for the entire morning. You need your book of Jasher. Pull your book of Jasher out, family. Let me know in the comments, do you have your book of Jasher? Let me know. Okay? Let me know, do you got your book of Jasher? What's up, Queen Bubble? Honey, do you got yours? Patricia don't got hers. No worries, no, we're going to read it to you. If you got the book of Jasher, pull it out, and we're going to use that this morning, okay? Head over to Exodus 12. Let's get it out about these Israelites. So now we hear God, which is Jesus, telling Abraham, one of Abraham family, put it in the comments, how many sons did Abraham have? How many? So we just read this Tuesday. We just read this Tuesday. 8. Ooh, we look baseballs in abundance. Knock them out the park. Abraham had 8 boys. Now this is for one of his sons. What we just read. The prophecy of what's going to happen to one of his sons. That son is Isaac. You understand? Isaac is the progenitor of the Israelites. He their great-granddaddy. He their granddaddy. Abraham is their great-granddaddy, and Isaac is their granddaddy. Okay? Exodus chapter 12. Exodus chapter 12. We want verses 37. Exodus chapter 12, verse 37 through 51. If you see that boy Facts for Life, please block him. Facts of God, that's his name, or Facts, block him. Because I already blocked him out my joint. So get him up out of here. That boy laughs so much, he needs to stop. Exodus chapter 12, let me read this to you. 37, I appreciate you, my love. I love you so much, thank you. You legendary, by the way. Ask Henrock. Ask Henrock. Henrock can tell you about yourself, but you know, I need that girl Brandy. Yeah. Exodus chapter 12, verse 37 through 51. Let's read it to him. Listen closely. Listen closely. What's up, Simply? And the children of Israel journeyed. Are you there yet, family? Exodus chapter 12. Exodus chapter 12. Haley, we glad you're here too. Let me know when you get there now. Okay, we here. Haley over there. Kim F over there. Ray over there. Anybody seen Kimberly H? Is Kim H here this morning? Tracy there. Let's get it. Exodus chapter 12, verse 37 through 51. Come on. And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramesses to Succoth, about 600 400,000. On foot, there were men beside children. And a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle. And they baked unleavened cakes and the dough which they brought forth out of Egypt. This is when the Israelites left Egypt, when Moses got them up out of there. Let's read it to them. How many left Egypt? How many Israelites left Egypt? And later on, we're going to read how many walked in. Because this bondage with Egypt, they didn't sin to get in this bondage. They walked into Egypt. They wasn't brought in Egypt. They walked in. It was 70 of them that walked in. That's 600K. 600,000 walked right out of Egypt. That's almost 1 million Israelites walking up out of there. Let's get it. And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough which they brought forth out of Egypt, for it was not leavened, because they were thrust out of Egypt and could not tarry. Neither had they prepared for themselves any victuals. Now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years. They was in that bondage in Egypt for 430 years. Now we just heard Jesus tell Abraham, your seed gonna be afflicted for 400 years. This is what he's talking about. It's not talking about our bondage. And a lot of brothers don't understand that. What he talked about in Genesis chapter 15 was this bondage. Okay? And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, even the selfsame day it came to pass, that all the hosts of the land went out from the land of Egypt. It is a night to be much observed unto the Lord for bringing them out of the land of Egypt. This is that night of the Lord, be observed of all the children of Israel in their generations. And the Lord said unto Moses and Aaron, this is the ordinances of the Passover. There shall no stranger eat thereof. You hear that? Israel has always had other races with them, just like we got today. But in our day and our time, all these other races, they cannot stand us. They can't. But every man's servant that is brought for money, when thou hast circumcised him, then shall he eat thereof. A foreigner and a hired servant shall not eat thereof. In one house shall it be eaten, that thou shalt not carry forth out of the flesh abroad, out of the houses, neither shall you break a bone thereof. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. And when who? What that say? What that say? Exodus chapter 12, verse 48. And when a stranger shall sojourn with thee, and will keep the Passover in the look to the Lord, let all his males be circumcised. That's why I always tell y'all, baptism, faith, grace, belief, circumcision, following your commandments. That's all the packages of this God. You do that, that's you, him. He can look down and say, oh, that's mine right there. Because you followed his ordinances. You listened, you read, and you did it. And when a stranger shall sojourn with thee, and will keep the Passover to the Lord, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it. And he shall be as one that is born in the land. For no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. Listen closely, this is for everybody. One law shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that sojourn among you. Thus did all the children of Israel, as the Lord commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. And it came to pass the selfsame day that the Lord did bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt by their armies. So this is, we're reversing the story. We're gonna put this story in reverse. We're gonna figure out who the Israelites is, where they came from, and how they even got in Egypt. Let me read it to you this morning. Come on. Head over to Exodus chapter 13. Just flip the page. Exodus chapter 13. We want 20 and 22. Exodus chapter 13. Verse 20 and 20 to 22. Let me know when you get over there. We read out of a King James Version Bible. Hey, Kimberly H., there you go. King James Version Bible, please. Because I don't want your understanding to be spiraled into an abyss. We got to be reading the exact same thing. Don't come in here without a King James Version Bible. This Fables and Truth. We've been saying this for a year. Pad and pen, King James Version Bible. Exodus chapter 13. Let me know when you get there. Y'all there, family? I love you. Exodus chapter 13. We want verses 20 through 22. Let me read it to them. And they took their journey from Succoth and encamped at Etham in the edge of the wilderness. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light to go by day and night. So now they got a pillar in a cloud by the day to lead them, and at nighttime it's a big old pillar of fire leading them. And he took not away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night from before the people. Listen closely. This pillar got a name. This pillar actually has a name. This pillar at night, the pillar of cloud by the day got a name, and the pillar of fire given to them by night has a name, a physical name. Okay? Head over to Psalms. Let's get them out. That pillar got a name, y'all. And this is what people fail to understand and realize. Go to Psalms chapter 78. Give me Psalm 78. Let's get over there, fam. Let me know when you get over there. Me and him are going to read this to you. Psalms chapter 78. Well, Psalm 78, because it ain't no chapters. You ain't lost nowhere. Read this book and come up out the hole. You ain't went nowhere. You ain't lost. Only person that's lost is a person that want to be lost. Ain't that right, Cooper? Cooper and Hemrock, let's read this to them. Psalm chapter 78. Let me know when you get over there. Psalm 78. We want Psalm 78, 12 to 14. Psalm 7. Thank you, Cooper. What's up, Joseph? Psalm 78. You ready, Hemrock and Cooper? Let's give it to him. Psalm 78, 12 and 14. Listen closely. Marvelous things did he do. Marvelous things did he in the sight of their fathers. In the land of Egypt, in the field of Zoan, he divided the sea and caused them to pass through, and he made the waters to stand as a heap. In the daytime also he led them with the cloud, and all the night with a light of fire. What is this thing's name? This pillar got a name. The one, let's get this name out real quick. 1 Corinthians, let's get them out. 1 Corinthians chapter 10. 1 Corinthians chapter 10. Let's see the name of that pillar. Since people want to play with our king, let me know when you get over to 1 Corinthians chapter 10. You over there yet? 1 Corinthians chapter 10. You there, Greg? Come on, Greg, let's read it to him. 1 Corinthians chapter 10. Kimberly F. Let's get it, y'all. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, we want verses 1 through 4. Moreover, brethren, I would not that you should be ignorant how that our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea, and were all baptized under Moses in the cloud and in the sea, and did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink. Now, what is the name of that cloud and that pillar of fire? For they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ. That's his name. You see that? That pillar got a name. Christ. Jesus. You ain't know that? Head over to Exodus chapter 14. So when these goofies tell you, oh, God don't like everybody. You were, all the way back then, that was Christ. We just read it. That pillar was Christ. All of that. The rock that they drunk out of, everything. Let's get it. Head over to Exodus. Now let's get to the bottom of that. Bob back over to Exodus chapter 14. Exodus chapter 14. I want you to put a marker in Genesis. We're going to be reading a marker. Get you a marker and put it in Genesis. We're going to be reading that all morning long. All right? Exodus chapter 14, we want the entire chapter. Exodus chapter 14, entire chapter. I appreciate y'all reading with me. All 364 y'all. Wonderful people. I love y'all dearly, man. Y'all makes my day. Exodus, thank you, Sister Brandy. Exodus chapter 14, entire chapter. Let's get it. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they turn and encamp before Pi-hahiroth, between Migdal and the sea, over against Baal-zephon. Before it shall you encamp by the sea, for Pharaoh will say of the children of Israel, they are entangled in the land, the wilderness has shut them in, and I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and he will follow after them, and I will be honored upon Pharaoh and upon all his hosts, that the Egyptians may know that I am the Lord. And they did so. And it was told the king of Egypt that the people fled, and the heart of Pharaoh and of his servants was turned against the people. And they said, Why have we done this, that we have let Israel go from serving us? And he made ready his chariots and took his people with him. And he took 600 chosen chariots and all the chariots of Egypt and captains over every one of them. And the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he pursued after the children of Israel. And the children of Israel went out with a high hand, but the Egyptians pursued after them, all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh and his horsemen and his armies, and overtook them encamping by the sea beside Pi-hahiroth, before Baal-zephon. And when Pharaoh drew near, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them, and they were so afraid. And the children of Israel cried out unto the Lord. And they said unto Moses, Because there was no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore hast thou dealt thus with us to carry us forth out of Egypt? Is not this the word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, Let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? So the Israelites is grinding up Moses, saying, Why you take us up out of here to die? Let's get it. Hey, Sandy. That we may serve the Egyptians, for it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness. We just said that. And Moses said unto the people, Fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will show to you today. For the Egyptians whom you have seen today, you shall see them again no more forever. The Lord shall fight for you, and you shall hold your peace. And the Lord said unto Moses, Wherefore criest thou unto me, speakest unto the children of Israel, that they go forward? But lift thou up thy rod, and stretch out thy hand over the sea, and divide it. And the children of Israel shall go on dry ground through the midst of the sea. And I beheld, I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, and they shall follow them. I will get me honor upon Pharaoh and upon all his hosts, upon his chariots and upon his horsemen. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord, when I have gotten me honor upon Pharaoh, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen. Basically, Jesus is making an example out of this boy. Jesus is about to make an example out of Pharaoh, and this example is known all the way up to June 1st, 2023. The example that he made out of them, we should look at it. He destroys whole nations when he wants to. Let's get it. And the angel of God, which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them, and the pillar of the cloud went from before their face and stood behind them. We just read about that pillar. He told you, I'm going to fight for you. We know who was that pillar. Okay? And it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel. And it was a cloud and darkness to them, but it gave light by night to these, so that one came not near the other all the night. And Moses stretched out the hand over the sea, and the Lord caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea. We just read that when Abraham, remember Abraham made the sacrifices and the thing went in between them? This is what you read now. This is what he saw. And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. And the Egyptians pursued and went in after them to the midst of the sea, even all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen. And it came to pass that in the morning watched the Lord looked unto the host of the Egyptians through the pillar of fire and of the cloud, and troubled the host of the Egyptians, and took off their chariot wheels, that they drave them heavily, so that the Egyptians said, let us flee from the face of Israel, for the Lord fighteth for them against the Egyptians. And the Lord said unto Moses, stretch out thy hand over the sea, that the waters may come again upon the Egyptians. Toast. Upon their chariots and upon their horsemen. Exodus chapter 14, verse 27. And Moses stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned his strength. When the morning appeared, and the Egyptians fled against it, and the Lord overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea. And the waters returned, and covered the chariots and the horsemen, and all the hosts of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. There remained not so much as one of them. But the children of Israel walked upon dry land in the midst of the sea, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. Thus the Lord saved Israel that day out of the hand of the Egyptians, and Israel saw the Egyptians dead upon the seashore. And Israel saw that great work which the Lord did upon the Egyptians. Listen closely. And Israel saw the great work which the Lord did upon the Egyptians. And Israel saw, they saw this physically, the great work which the Lord did upon the Egyptians. And the people feared the Lord and believed the Lord and his servant Moses. So we got to the point now that Jesus don't let the Israelites out of Egypt. This is what happened. The Egyptians let them go. But they said, why did we do that? So they went back to try to get them back and hurt them. Toast. Turned them all to pieces of toast, messing with Israel. Israel didn't do nothing to get into this bondage. They walked into Egypt. Now let's see how they came about and how they even got into Egypt. Okay? Head over to Genesis chapter 25. Let's get them out. Put your mark over in Genesis. We're going to be in that thing all morning. All morning long. My great-grandpa has 3 days left. Make sure he repent. Period. Make sure he repent for everything he can remember he ever done wrong. And give him a kiss on his forehead, if that's the diagnosis. But don't be up in here playing. You ready, Kim H? We want Genesis chapter 25. You need your book of Jasher. You need your book of Jasher. Genesis chapter 25. Genesis chapter 25. We want verses 19. Yeah, Genesis chapter 25. We want verses 19 through 28. Genesis chapter 25. Let me know when you get over there. I heard that, Kim H. Hey, Tracy. Portia. Come on, Portia. Let's read this to them. Thank you, Dikembe. Come on, Portia. Let's read this to them. Genesis chapter 25. We want verses 19 to 28. Let's go. And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begot Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padan, the sister to Laban, the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren. Barren means you can't have no baby, okay? And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord, and the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. And they called his name, who? Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. How old was Isaac, family? If 1 is 20. How old was Isaac when he had the, hey, okay now? How old was Isaac when he had these boys? If 1 is 20, there you go, family. Look at my family. He was 60 years old when he had these boys. Okay? Now, one of them name is Esau, and the other one name is Jacob. They come from the same mama. They was twin brothers. So when you hear the Israelites on the corner talking about Esau this, Esau that, Esau is Shemitic. Esau is our twin brother. Does Esau in no ways be a Gentile? Please put it in the comments. Can Esau be a Gentile? Put it in the comments. No. That's 2 different races of people, goofies. All these Israelites on the corner, that's all they do. Esau this, Esau that, Esau this. You goofy. This Bible say our captivity is with the Gentiles, not with Esau. They goofy. Esau is your twin brother. Esau is Shemitic, not Jephthah. We just read that Tuesday morning. Genesis chapter 10, we read the whole families of the world. You understand your book? Stop trying to figure out who people are in this world by using the books they got in this world. Because when we talking about this Bible, Africa wasn't even invented. It wasn't no name Africa. America was no name. It had no name. China, that wasn't the name of that. It's this boy named Africa something. He named Africa. Thank you, Morris. They goofy. Now Esau could have bred into them, but when you're trying to find history of people, God know all of us by name. And he damn sure ain't calling us black man, China man, Japan man. He ain't calling us none of that. That's what we call each other. He got names for us: Amorites, Moabites, Girgashites, Israelites, Perizzites, Hamites, Gentiles. He know his people. I love you. Stop playing with them goofies. They don't got a clue. Esau this, Esau that. That ain't. This book say your bondage is with the Gentiles. And last I checked, what is America? Number of white folks. Esau ain't over here running nothing. Esau had his hand to deal with it. The Hamites had his hand to deal with it. The Arabians had their hands in the transatlantic. All of them. All of them got paid off your black hide, off your ancestors. And they still got that paper. Read your Bible. Get your own edification. Genesis chapter 25, verse 26. And after that came his brother out, his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in the tents. Ain't that us all? We be chilling. Esau all over the place. Look at him now. Now the thing with Esau right now, if you listen close, let me explain something to you. The Israelites on the corner try to grind up Christians. They try to grind up, I'm an Israelite through the core. My whole life. Ain't nothing gonna stop that. I know my race. But they're trying to say, if you don't say Jesus' name in Hebrew, you a piece of toast. Like, you're not worshiping God right. But pay attention to Esau. Esau's over there in Israel. That's the ones with the hat and the curly fries. They're coming out the side of the hat. That's them. Now, they're making the ordinances right now that if you say the name of Jesus, you're going to be thrown in jail. So whatever name they over there calling they God, the same name is what the Israelites is calling them on the corner. You get it now? The same exact name. They're not saying the name of Jesus. They refuse to say it. They saying Yahshua, Yahshua, all these other names but the name of Jesus. You see that? They doing just what they supposed to be doing. They wicked. Insane. They not even paying attention. That same language that you saying you speaking, Esau gave it to you, goofy. Don't you know he wants you to go to hell? And you fall right forward. Goofy. Say his name. That's why they don't like me, because I say Jesus, 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 Jesus. They hate me. No, brother, you a good brother. You know your book, but you saying the name wrong. You supposed to say, boy, if you don't block, get on away from me, boy. And Isaac loved Esau. Genesis chapter 25, verse 28. Listen closely. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of the venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob. So there was a split between the two. The dad loved the hunter, and mom's liked the young boy that was sitting in the tent with her chilling. Okay? Let's get him out. Get your book of Jasher out. I thank my family for this tablet. Y'all don't know how much easier this is. Get your book of Jasher out. Let's read it to him. Let me know when you got your book of Jasher out. To let you know, we're reading from the book of Jasher this morning. See it? All right. You ready? Y'all got it out? I want you to head over to Jasher chapter 27. Jasher chapter 27. Let's get them out. Let me know when you got it. Jasher. Look at his eyebrow say, I'm using yours. Look at Sandy. Y'all got it, honeydew? You ready to go? The book of Jasher. Let's get them out. You got it? Let's do it. Jasher chapter 27. We want verses 1 through 11. Now let's see what's going on with these brothers. Okay? Family members, let me tell you something. The Israelites still ain't here. We ain't read nothing. You ain't read. Have we read the word Israel for the last 2 weeks since we've been doing this? We ain't read it one time. They still not on earth. All these nations all these people on earth didn't start together. We read how it started. The Hamites, the Gentiles, and the Shemitics. That's how this world started. And everybody come from them. Jephthah, which is the Gentiles, is the firstborn, the white boy. The Hamites, and then Shemitics. But out of these three races of people, a lot of more nations got born. The Shemitics, they made Arabs, they made Israelites, they made everything. Let's get it out. Jasher chapter 27, verses 1 through 11. Let's read it to him. And Esau at that time, after the death of Abraham, frequently went into the field to hunt. We just read that. And Nimrod. Nimrod is an African. Nimrod is the king of the world. He's an African. Nimrod is the very first king of Babylon. This is Nimrod's Babylon, an African, a Hamite, very powerful brother. Now let's see why. And Esau at that time, after the death of Abraham, frequently went into the field to hunt. And Nimrod, king of Babel, we just said that. The same was Amraphel, also frequently went with his mighty men to hunt in the field and to walk about with his men in the cool of the day. And Nimrod was observing Esau all the days, for jealousy was formed in the heart of Nimrod against Esau all the days. And on a certain day, Esau went in the field to hunt, and he found Nimrod walking in the wilderness with his 2 men. And all his mighty men and his people were with him in the wilderness, but they removed at a distance from him. And they went from him in the different directions to hunt. And Esau concealed himself for Nimrod, and he lurked for him in the wilderness. And Nimrod and his men that were with him did not know him. And Nimrod and his men frequently walked about in the field at the cool of the day, and to know where his men were hunting in the field. And Nimrod and 2 of his men that were with him came to the place where they were, when Esau started suddenly from the lurking place and drew his sword and hastened and ran to Nimrod and cut off his head. Toast. Okay? So Esau the one that got a hold of Nimrod. Let's see what's up. And Esau fought a desperate fight with the 2 men that were with Nimrod. And when they called out to him, Esau turned to them and smote them to death with his sword. Esau was a beast. Esau banged Nimrod and his 2 homeboys that was with him, turned them into pieces of toast. Let's get it. And all the mighty men of Nimrod who had left to go to the wilderness heard the cry at a distance, and they knew the voice of those 2 men, and they ran to know the cause of it. When they found their king and the 2 men that were with him lying dead in the wilderness, and when Esau saw the mighty men of Nimrod coming at a distance, he fled and thereby escaped. Listen closely. And Esau took the valuable garments of Nimrod. Remember, I always used to tell y'all, what are the valuable garments of Nimrod? The valuable garments of Nimrod is the same garments that Jesus made for Adam and Eve. We read this. Remember when Adam and Eve sinned? And they tried to sew, they tried to put fig leaves on themselves. No. Jesus made them 2 skins, whack, whack, and covered them up. This is what Esau stole from Nimrod. I always told y'all that Ham stole them from Noah. Very first homosexual act. We just read that. Okay? After that, Ham family was cursed through Canaan. Noah cursed Canaan. So the Africans is toast to this day. After that, Canaan gave him to Cush. Gave him to Cush. Now, before we get started, who is Cush? Put it in the comments. Who is Cush? Present day. Because our Bible ain't no liar. Who is Cush present day? June 1st, 2023. Thank you, fam. Look at Ethiopia. That's who Cush is. They ain't got nothing to do with Israel. Now, them the ones, a lot of them kicking up Boomtai. What is his name? Bonton. All on TikTok talking about here. Man, you African. You a Hamite, boy. Stop it. Okay? After that, Cush gave him to Nimrod. Now, let's get it. Who took him from Nimrod? Esau. Let's go. And Esau took those garments. Hold on. Jasher, chapter 27, verse 10. And when Esau saw the mighty men of Nimrod coming in the distance, he fled and thereby escaped. And Esau took the valuable garments of Nimrod, which Nimrod's father had bequeathed to Nimrod, and with which Nimrod prevailed over the whole land. And he ran and concealed them in his house. And Esau took those garments and ran into the city on account of Nimrod's men. And he came into his father's house, weary and exhausted from fight. And he was ready to die through grief when he approached his brother Jacob and said before him. So Esau don't wreck shop. Don't destroy Nimrod. Shed alive. Don't destroy them. Took his man, took the garments. Now Esau is running hard. He ran all the way to the crib and ran right up onto his brother. Open your Bibles back up to Genesis. Let's get him out. Let's get him out. Genesis chapter 25. Let's see. Esau was booking, running. Let me know when you got your Bibles back open to Genesis chapter 25. So now we know what happened. Okay? Genesis chapter 25. Let me know when you get over there. Genesis chapter 25. We want verses 29 through 34. Genesis chapter 25, verses 29 through 34. You there yet? Let's get it. And Jacob saw a part. Now Esau booking. Okay? We just read that. He running. We know what he was running from now. He's a murderer. See, God says, Jacob have I loved and Esau do I hate. You see why? Esau a vicious boy. And Jacob saw a pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. Please put it in the comment why Esau was coming through the field and he was faint. Put it in the comments. Why he was so tired running that fast. Please put it in the comments so I can know you got a clear understanding of what we reading. Why was he booking? Huh? Killer. This is why he was running. Running for his life. Straight to the crib. Thank you, family. Thank you, family. He was a fugitive at the time. He had to get away. He don't smoke Nimrod in them. Now let's get it. And Jacob saw a pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. Esau is Edom. Esau is Mount Seir. Esau is Edomia. Put that on your paper. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. Now the birthright is very important in human society. The birthright is just this. The firstborn get everything. The firstborn get everything. Esau is the firstborn. But Esau is not godly at all. Esau is marrying outside of the race. You can see he's a murderer. He's a killer. He don't care nothing about God's ordinances. Okay? And Esau said, behold, I am at this point to die. What profit shall this birthright do to me? And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Now that birthright is this. I'm an Israelite. I serve the God of Israel and all his commandments. I must teach my oldest son that. My oldest son must teach his oldest son that. His oldest son must teach, and it goes on generation after generation from the oldest. The oldest always hold tight to the commandments of God, to live his life, to share with his family. Esau didn't want that. Esau had nothing to do with that. He didn't want none of that. Now listen closely. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and he rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. You see why God didn't too much like that, boy? He didn't want nothing to do with him. You the firstborn, okay? Head over to Genesis chapter 27. Let's get him out. Genesis chapter 27. I told you we got a lot of reading to do, and we cutting through this pretty good. I thank all 468 of y'all reading this book with me this morning. Y'all are wonderful people. Seeking the Lord, reading his words. Man. Such a beautiful thing. I say that because I used to read by myself. Had no one to read with. That's a crazy thing when you're reading by yourself for years and years and years, and then you finally got about 400 and some odd people. Imagine how I feel inside. Genesis chapter 27. We want the entire chapter. And we want the entire chapter. Genesis chapter 27. Let's get them out. Let's get them out. So now we got this breaking this down. We've seen how Jesus Christ got them Israelites out of Egypt on eagle's wings. We read that. Parted the Red Sea, smacked up the Egyptians. Now let's see how they became. We still ain't read nothing about no Israelites. Where they at? They ain't on earth yet. They don't even exist. Let's go. You ready? Let me know when you're ready. Genesis chapter 27, whole chapter, entire chapter. Genesis chapter 27, entire chapter. We got a lot of reading. We're going to get them out. We ready? What's up, baddie? We go. Let's go. Haley, you feel like reading the whole chapter with me or solid? No. Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer, you about to read this whole chapter with me. Come on. Let's give it to him. Come on, Silver Surfer. Solid, you got the next one. Come on, Silver Surfer. Genesis chapter 27. Let me know when you're ready. And Haley, both y'all, read loud and bold. You are saying the words of God. You are his messenger. You ready? Let's do it. And it come to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son, and said unto him, my son. And he said unto him, behold, here I am. And he said, behold, now I am old. I know not the day of my death. Now therefore, take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field, and take me some venison, and make me savory meat such as I love, and bring it to me that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die, that my soul may bless thee before I die. This is the blessing. This is what we just talked about. The oldest always gets the blessing, the inheritance. Isaac loved Esau. We read that. Isaac loved him some Esau because he used to feed him. Okay? Now listen to, and this is what I tell these husbands out here. Start listening to your wife. God ain't give it to you for no reason. Your wife is your second mind. Sometimes she might be your first. Your wife is one of the most important things in your life once you got one. And some brothers don't even listen to them. Oh, she just cackling, she just talking. She get it too, just like you, because she's yours. Now this is Isaac's wife. Watch his wife closely. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau, his son. And Esau went to the field to hunt for venison and to bring it. Now watch this woman. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob, her son, saying, behold, I heard that father speaking unto Esau, that brother, saying, bring me venison and make me savory meat, that I may eat and bless thee before the Lord before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. This is mama. This is mama. His mama Pete. Jesus used Rebekah quick. Oh, I need you to, Esau a mess. Watch this. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command. Go now to the flock and fetch me from thee 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I'm a smooth man. If that don't I don't know many hairy black dudes. You know, I don't know. You do the math. Come on. My father peradventure will fill me, and shall sing to him as a deceiver. And I will bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. Listen to Mom Dukes. Watch what Mom tell her baby. And his mother said unto him, upon me be that curse. My son, only obey my voice, and go fetch me them. And he went and fetched and brought them to his mother. And his mother made savory meat, such as his father loved. And Rebekah took godly raiment on her eldest son Esau. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob, her youngest son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his heads and upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And he came unto his father and said, my father. And he said, here I am. Who art thou, my son? Now Jacob is pretending to be Esau. And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn. I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto his son, how is it that thou hast, he ain't stupid. He might be blind, but he ain't stupid. And Isaac said unto his son, how is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, because the Lord thy God brought it to me. They doing a lot of lying though. Yeah, a lot of deceiving. But you know, God put this in effect. God made all this happen. He had to get that birth. Now Jacob got the blessing. Jacob got his birthright. And God had to get that blessing from Esau because Esau wasn't godly. Let's get it. And Isaac said unto Jacob, come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him and said, the voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy as his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him. And he said, art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison. His mama don't make that venison. Where do you think Esau learned how to make it? From his mama. My wife teaches my son how to cook. My wife always say it ain't gonna be a woman in the lab talking about they gotta cook for you. And I didn't understand that until, come on. Mothers, teach your baby boys how to cook. Because these days, these women's ain't, they couldn't even make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich during COVID. These women can't make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich these days. That's for another day. Come on, let's go. And he said, bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, see, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field which the Lord has blessed. Therefore, God give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Now Isaac is blessing Jacob. Isaac is blessing Jacob with the firstborn's blessing, which is supposed to be Esau's. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's son bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curses thee, and blessed be he that blesses thee. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. Esau done came in now. And he also had made savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, who? Where is he that has taken venison and brought it me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yeah, and he shall be blessed. He done took this boy blessing. Now Jacob don't got. Now, the killer thing is, he didn't take the birthright. Esau sold the birthright for pottage. He took the blessing fair and square. Now let's get it. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried. This is when the Bible tells you in the New Testament, Esau wept. Esau cried with tears. This is what they're talking about. And said unto his father, bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away that blessing. And he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? For he supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright. That's a lie. We just read that. Did Jacob take away the birthright? Put it in the comments, did he? Or did he sell it to him? Esau a liar too. Put it in the comments. Did Jacob take the birthright? No. He sold it to him. Thank you, family. He sold it to him. We reading it. We ain't got to play with nobody. And behold, now he has taken away my blessing. And he said, hast thou not reserved the blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy Lord. So basically, we supposed to be over them. Esau did the opposite. You see, Esau still acting like he got the birthright and he got the blessing. He's still acting like that to this day. That's why God don't care too much about him. Because this is supposed to be in reverse. When your little brother got in all that trouble, Esau got enough money and enough power in this world to help us. That's our big brother. And he gives less than 2 flies in a barrel. That's your big brother. He don't care nothing about you. Let's go. All the way from this. And I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and did what? And he wept, crying for that thing. Okay? And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and over the dew of heaven from above. And by the sword shalt thou live. And by the sword shalt thou live. And by the sword shalt thou live. And shall serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou have the dominion that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau, what? Genesis chapter 27, verse 40. What did Esau do from that day forward? This is the war. This is how it started. Our own brother. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, watch what Esau said, sound a little bit like Cain and Abel, don't it? Watch this. The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then I will slay my brother Jacob. Who that sound like? Cain and Abel, don't it? You see that? Cain was Abel's big brother and smoked him. Esau is our big brother. And in his heart, to this very second, he want to turn us into a piece of toast. He said, I'm going to kill you. I'm getting you for what you did. And it was all fair. What they say in the hood? The game is cold, baby, but it's fair. That's facts. The game is cold, but it's fair. Let's get it. And these words of Esau, watch mommy. Mommy ain't no joke. Rebecca. Mom, I never had a mama, and I never had a dad. So when I hear people disrespecting their mom, it does not sit well or resonate well with me. Listen to mommy. And these words of Esau, her eldest son, were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob, her youngest son, and said unto him, behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doeth comfort himself, purposing to kill thee. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, and arise, flee thou to Laban, my brother, to Haran, and tarry with him a few days, until thy brother fury turn away. Oh, Jacob ain't had no hands to Esau now. Esau would have broke him. Esau's a hunter. He just smoked Nimrod in them. Jacob didn't stand a chance. So mommy said, baby, get on up out of here. Your big brother is at your top. He is pissed. So you get up out of here and go live with your uncle. Okay, come on. Until thy brother's anger turn away from thee, and forget that which thou hast done to him, then I will send and fetch thee from thence. Why should I be deprived also of you both in one day? Now she said, if Esau smoke you, you toast, and if he kill you, Esau toast, because God gonna get him, and I'm gonna lose both my sons. So get up out of here before he gets you. That go for you too. If you make somebody mad that's more powerful than you, leave them alone for a little while. Give them a little days to cool off. And this is what women do to men. Oh, that man is powerful than you in many ways. Many, many ways. So if women know that, and they will break a man with that. They'll break you. They'll play all kind of games with you, man, because they know they can't get you this way. A woman gonna get you one way or the other. So care for them properly. Most men be, oh, that woman ain't nothing. I can't stand her. And this is always my question. When any time a man come to you talking about his woman, ask that man what he did. This is my favorite question. Man, I can't stand her. I said, what did you do? Did you cheat on her? He like, yeah, man, yeah. I said, that's why she acting like that, goofy. Why you think she acting? You lucky you still with her. That's the favorite line, man. You, oh, this woman this woman that. And then you ask the magical question, did you cheat on her? And they go, yeah, man, you know, I did. Get going. All right, come on. And Rebekah said, listen to this. Turn away from thee, and he forget that which thou hast done to him. Then I will send and fetch thee from thence. Why should I be deprived also of you both in one day? Genesis chapter 27, verse 46. And Rebekah said to Isaac, I am weary of my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob take a wife of the daughters of Heth, such as these which are of the daughters of the land, what good shall my life do me? Rebekah didn't like the chicks that was around. She didn't like them. She said, I don't want my baby to marry none of these hoes. I don't want them. So she sent him away. Okay? Esau, on the other hand, I'll take you, baby. I'll take you, baby. I'll take you, baby. Esau had all the girls. Esau went and buried Ishmaelites. He went and got Ishmael's baby. Ishmael is Arabian. Esau married one of them. I think her name was Judith. Come on, let's get it. Genesis chapter 9. Genesis chapter 29. Got a lot of reading. A lot of reading to do. A lot of reading. And we getting them out. Whole lot of whole chapters. Genesis chapter 29, entire chapter. Let's get it. Hey, easy. Let's get it. You ready? Let me know when you get over. Now, come on, Solid. We got to give it to him, Solid. Let's read it. You ready? Solid say he ready. Kim H ready. Come on, Solid. Genesis chapter 29, entire chapter. Genesis chapter 29, entire chapter. Then Jacob went on his journey and came into the land of the people of the east. So mom don't send them away. Now he on his journey. All right. And he looked, and behold, a well in the field, and lo, there were 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. For out of that well they watered the flocks, and a great stone was upon the well's mouth, and thither were all the flocks gathered. And they rolled the stone from the well's mouth and watered the sheep, and put the stone again upon the well's mouth in its place. And Jacob said unto them, my brethren, whence be ye? And they said, of Haran are we. And he said unto them, know ye Laban, the son of Nahor? And they said, we know him. And he said unto them, is he well? And they said, he is well. And behold, Rachel, his daughter cometh with the sheep. And he said, lo, it is yet high day, neither is it a time that the cattle should be gathered together. Water ye the sheep, and go and feed them. And they said, we cannot until all the flocks be gathered together, until they roll the stone from the well's mouth. Then we water the sheep. And while he yet spake with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she kept them. Rachel was a shepherd. It's a woman. This gonna be Jacob's baby, his main, his boo, okay? And it came to pass, when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother. And Jacob kissed Rachel. Oh, he loved that one. We all got them. Got that special one in our life. Come on. And lifted up his voice and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father. And it came to pass, when Laban heard these tidings of Jacob, his sister's son, that he ran to meet him and embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his house. And he told Laban all these things. And Laban said to him, surely thou art my bone and my flesh. And he abode with him the space of a month. And Laban said unto Jacob, because thou art my brother's, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be? Now listen closely. And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. So here we got 2 girls. Leah must be like a 6. Rachel is straight dime piece. So Jacob got his eyes on Rachel, okay? And Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy youngest daughter. So he said, I will take care of your sheep and do all that. You give me that girl right there. I'm going to do this for 7 years straight. Okay? Let's do it. And Laban said, it's better that I give her to thee than that I should give her to another man abode with me. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed to him but a few days. So he did 7 years straight, and it just went by like that. But for love he had to her, for the love he had for her, to her. And Jacob said unto Laban, give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I might go in unto her. That means he ready to get it. He like, give me my woman so I can get me some. That's what that means, go in unto something in this book. That means they having sex. He wants some sex. Okay? And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah, his daughter, and brought her to him, and he went in unto her. So now Laban, Jacob's uncle, don't trick them. Got them drunk. They in there partying and drinking. When I hear brothers say, man, I was so drunk, man, I didn't know who I was sleeping with. I believe that. I believe that. Now, if you drunk in the club and you got a whole woman and a wife in the crib and you talking to, you know who you sleeping with. You know exactly who you sleeping with. You trying to get that. He's drunk. Watch this. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah, his daughter, and brought her to him, and he went in unto her. So Laban, the uncle, instead of giving Jacob his boo, he don't gave him the big sister. Okay? And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah. This is what I want you to do. Put Rachel on your paper, put Leah on your paper, and put Zilpah on your paper. Very important women. Okay? His maid for a handmaid. And it came to pass that in the morning, listen closely, behold, it was Leah. And he said to Laban, what is this that thou hast done unto me? Did not I serve thee for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me? Jacob is pissed. He said, he don't slept with her already. Now that's his wife. Ain't nothing you can do about it. He said, you tricked me, bro. Now watch this. And Laban said, it must not be so done in our country to give the younger before the firstborn. Fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me, yet 7 other years. You got that right, Big Sean. Now Jacob got to work 7 more years to get his boo. Can you imagine the way he was treating Leah during that time? Girl, if you don't get away from me, that's his wife. He got to do 7 more. Let's get it. And Jacob did so and fulfilled her week, and he gave him Rachel his daughter. Now he got his boo to wife also. So now Jacob got 2 girls, including Zilpah. That's 3 women. And Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah. Put that on your paper. Put that on your paper. Bilhah, his handmaid, to be her maid. So now Jacob got 4 women. His boo is Rachel. 4 wives. And he went in also unto Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than Leah. I just told y'all that. I'm sorry. Every man got that. So when you come somebody's wife, you better believe. By that time, if that man didn't get you first, by the time he got you, he loved you more than any woman he ever been with. Any woman. Is what you did to him that set you apart from all the other ones. That's why you his wife. Okay? That's why you got to get your wife. That woman is a woman right now, yours. We all got them walking around. Everybody got to help me walking around. This month gonna be a little different. We ain't gonna get, today is June 1st. We know what month it is. You know. Genesis chapter 29. Come on. Let me do 30 over. And he went in also unto Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than Leah, and served him yet 7 other years. And when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened up her womb, but Rachel was barren. You see how God evened that out? Leah can hide kids, but Rachel can't. Jacob loved Rachel more than all of them, but she can't have no babies. Leah can. Here we go. Get ready. I want you to put 1. Now you should have Leah on your paper, Rachel on your paper, Zilpah on your paper, and Bella on your paper. Bilhah on your paper. You should have all these names on your paper. Now next to them, I want you to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I want you to write 1 through 12 next to those 4 women. 1 through 12. Let me know when you're done. I need 5 people to get that complete. We can tell who was good in school and who not. Because everybody like, I'm here, I'm done. But some people trying to copy off somebody's paper and ain't nobody in the house but you. You can't copy off nobody's paper up in here. All right, you there, Henry? So we got the 4 ladies and we got 1 through 12. You can't copy off nobody's paper. You got to do this, man. All right? Let's go. Still ain't heard nothing about no Israelites. Still ain't heard nothing about no Israelites, y'all. Ain't that something? Come on. Now let's get it. Genesis chapter 29. Genesis chapter 29, verse 32. And Leah conceived and bare a son, and she called his name Reuben. Number 1. Now. Reuben, that's number 1, baby. He's about to start popping them out. And she says, surely the Lord has looked upon my affliction. Now, therefore, my husband will love me. And she conceived again and bare a son, and said, because the Lord has heard that I was hated, he has therefore given me this son also. And she called his name Simeon. Reuben is the firstborn, Simeon is the second. Okay? Morning, brother. Let's get it. Genesis chapter 29, verse 34. And she conceived again and bare a son, and said, now this time will my husband be joined unto me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore, his name was called who? Levi. You should have them 4 names and your 1, 2, 12 and putting these names, right? 1, 2, 3. Okay? And she conceived again and bare a son, and she said, now will I praise the Lord. Therefore, she called his name who? Judah, and left barren. So Leah had 4 babies real quick out the gate. 4 babies, them the oldest. Okay? Let's go. Jump down to Genesis chapter 30. Genesis chapter 30. We want verses 1 through 25. So now you got Reuben, number 1, Simeon, number 2, Levi, number 3, and Judah, number 4. Okay? Judah, number 4. Now the word Jew, how they use it today, the word Jew ain't nothing but abbreviation for Judah. You know how they say the United States of America, and then they abbreviate and say the USA? That's all it is. And these people goofy. Come on. Genesis chapter 30, verse 1 through 25. Genesis chapter 30, verses 1 through 25. Let's give it to them. Come on. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister and said unto Jacob, give me children, or else I die. Rachel, you got a lot of nerve. This pissed Jacob off. I'm talking about Jacob got pissed. Like, who are you talking to? Let's get it. And Jacob's anger was kindled. I just told you that. Jacob got mad at that statement against Rachel. And he said, am I in God's stead? Why would Jacob get mad and angry at her for that? Because Jacob know who gives kids. God. God. If any of y'all is single moms and got babies out of wedlock, that baby ain't no mistake. Your behavior, your, how we gonna say it, irresponsibility behavior was the mistake, not that baby. The baby come from God. Only God gives kids. That's it. You can read that in the book of Proverbs. He said, I give children. Don't beat yourself up. You made a mistake. But your baby is a blessing. You got that? Women be, I'm a single mom. That was your irresponsibilities. I got them too. Very irresponsible as well. Okay? Let's go. And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel, and he said, I am in God's stead. Who has withheld from thee in the fruit of the womb? He said, my God, I can't make no kid come in you. Come on. And she said, behold, my maid Bilhah. Go in unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I might also have children by her. And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife. Now Jacob got 3 girls. He got 4 of them, really. Now he got Bilhah. And Jacob went in to her, and Bilhah conceived. Here comes some more babies. And bare Jacob a son. And Rachel said, God has judged me and has also heard my voice and has given me a son. Therefore called she his name Dan. There go number 5. Put it on your paper. Number 5. And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again and bare Jacob a second son. And Rachel said, with great wrestlings have I wrestled with my sister, and have I prevailed? She called his name Naphtali. Number 6. These babies is getting popped out. Morning. Number 6. All right. When Leah saw that she was left barren, she took Zilpah. Now they're in a contest, Leah and Rachel, playing with their handmaids. She said, you take my handmaid and have me some more kids. And Leah saw that she had left barren. She took Zilpah, her maid, and gave her to Jacob to wife. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son. And Leah said, a troop cometh, and she called his name Gad. Number 7. Put that on your paper. That's the 7th one. Come on, let's get it. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a second son. And Leah said, happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed. And she called his name Asher. Asher. Number 8. Let's get it. And Reuben. Listen what Reuben did. Excuse me. And Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest. Now I want you to food for thought. Reuben slept with one of Jacob's wives. Reuben is the firstborn. Reuben slept with Bilhah. That's for another day. We'll talk about that another day. All right. And Reuben went into the days of wheat harvest and found mandrakes in the field and brought them into his mother Leah. Then Rachel said unto Leah, give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mandrakes. Now watch how they pimp Jacob out. They about to pimp Jacob out for the night. This is how the world is to present day. It's so many women to one man. Women don't understand. Women cannot get it and understand. It's way more y'all than it is of us. Unless you got a holy and a godly man that can hold himself and his composure, he ain't gonna be able to sleep with just one. You see Jacob, 4 women already. Be careful when you're doing these things, especially you men. You better control yourself. If you got your wife, that's your wife. And only her. Your body don't belong to no other woman but hers. Let's get it. And she said unto her, is it a small matter? Genesis chapter 30, verse 15. Let's get it. Genesis chapter 30, verse 15. And she said unto her, is it a small matter that thou hast taken my husband, and wilt thou take away my son's mandrakes also? And Rachel said, therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrakes. So she don't pimped out Jacob. Let's go. And Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him and said, thou must come in unto me. I mean, you come give me some tonight. For surely I have hired thee. Didn't I just tell you that? She don't pay for it. Because Jacob loved Rachel. Evidently, Jacob and Rachel's crib was in the front, and everybody else in the back. But Rachel said, give me the mandrakes, and you can sleep with him tonight. Go right ahead. Come on, let's go. For surely I have hired thee with my son's mandrake, and he lay with her that night. So he don't slept with Leah for some mandrakes. Mandrakes like little mushrooms. Give you a little fertility. And God hearkened unto Leah, and she conceived and bare Jacob the 5th son. And Leah said, God has given me my hire, because I have given my maiden to my husband. And she called his name Issachar. Number 9, put down your paper. That's the 9th baby. Come on. And Leah conceived again and bare Jacob the 6th son. Leah is popping these kids. She's a baby machine. Let's get it. And Leah said, God has endued me with a good dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons. And she called his name Zebulun. Number 10. Let's get it. And after she bare a daughter and called her name, they had one little girl, Dinah. Dinah. Dinah was great by this boy named Hamar. You talking about, if you don't take care of your sister, you talking about Reuben and Simon? Reuben and Simon killed everybody in their country for that. Everybody. They told them all get circumcised. When they were sitting there sore, Reuben and Simon came to that boy and ripped them because they raped their little sister. If you don't take care of your family, I don't know what to tell you. That's for another day. We'll talk about it on another time. Come on, let's go. Genesis chapter 30, verse 22. And God remembered Rachel, and God hearkened to her and opened her womb. And she conceived and bare a son, and said, God has taken away my reproach. And she called his name who? Who is Rachel's baby? It's Rachel's first baby, Joseph. And said, the Lord shall add to me another son. And it came to pass, when Rachel had borne Joseph, that Jacob said to Laban, send me away that I might go into my own place, into my country. Number 11. We don't see 12 nowhere yet. Okay, well, you know, it's just 11. Head over to Genesis 35. Genesis chapter 35. Let's get them out. Come on, Anissa. You about to read this, Nisa. Genesis chapter 35. Nisa, you want to sneak on up in? Now you got to read. Now everybody can see you. Now everybody got to hear and see you read. Come on, everybody in your house. Come on. Come on, Nisi. Let's give it to them. Genesis chapter 35, verses 9 through 29. Genesis chapter 35, verses 9 through 25. Come on, Nisi. You there yet? Genesis chapter 9, Genesis chapter 35, verses 9 through 29. You ready? Okay, good morning, yeah. I love you. Come on, Nisi, let's give it to him. Genesis chapter 35, verses 9 through 29. Listen closely. And God appeared unto Jacob again when he came out of Paneram and blessed him. And God said unto him, thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but who? What they say? But Israel. You understand these things? Jacob's name was changed from Jacob to Israel. Now we just read all of Jacob's kids, 11 boys. Are the Israelites here yet, y'all, yet? Have they arrived? Put it in the comments. Have they arrived? 11 of them born already. Now God don't change Jacob's name to Israel. So now you know why they call them the Israelites. Because of their dad. Their dad name is Israel. Their dad ain't an Israelite. Isaac is not an Israelite. Abraham is not an Israelite. But Jacob's babies are all the Israelites, all 11, the ones we don't read so far. Okay? Come on. Let me read it to you again. Genesis chapter 35, verse 10. And God said unto him, thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel. And God said unto him, I am God Almighty. This is Jesus talking. This is Jesus talking. This is Jesus talking. And God said unto him, I am God Almighty. So is Jesus God? Put it in the comments. Is Jesus God? This is Jesus talking. No man has heard the Father, nor man has seen the Father, only the Son. Is Jesus God? Yes. They goofy. They goofy. Let's get it. Read your book. Come on. And God said unto him, I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come of thy loins. And the land which I gave Abraham and Isaac, to thee I will give it, and to thy seed after thee will I give the land. And God went up from in the place where he talked with him. And Jacob set a pillar in the place where he talked with him, even a pillar of stone, and he poured a drink offering thereof, and he poured oil thereon. And Jacob called the name of that place where God spake with him Bethel. And they journeyed from Bethel, and there was but a little way to come to Ephrath. And Rachel travailed, and she had hard labor. You understand? You know what that means, family? All my women in this lab know what hard labor means. That means this baby's about to die having this baby. Come on. And it came to pass when she was in hard labor that the midwife said unto her, Fear not, thou shalt have this son also. And it came to pass as her soul was in departing, she was dying, having this baby. For she died. I just told y'all that. She called his name Biani, but his father called him Benjamin. Write that on your paper. There go number 12. Bingo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 tribes of Israel. Benjamin is the youngest. There go all 12 of them. Rachel died having Benjamin. We just read it. Okay? And Rachel died and was buried in the way of Ephraim. That was Jacob's baby. That was his boo. And she gone, okay? And Rachel died and was buried in the way of Ephraim, which is Bethlehem. And Jacob set a pillar upon her grave. That is the pillar of Rachel's grave unto this day. And Israel journeyed and spread the tent beyond the tower of Edar. And it came to pass, Israel dwelt in the land that Reuben went and lay with Bilhah. I just told y'all that. Reuben, the oldest, went and slept with one of Jacob's wives, Bilhah, his father's concubine. And Israel heard it. Now the sons of Jacob were how many? 12. The sons of Leah, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, and Simeon, and Levi, and Judah, and Issachar, and Zebulun. The sons of Rachel, Joseph, and Benjamin. And the sons of Bilhah, Rachel's handmaid, Dan, and Naphtali. And the son of Zilpah, Leah's handmaiden, Gad, and Asher. These are the sons of Jacob, which were born to him in Paneram. And Jacob came unto Isaac his father unto Mamre, unto the city of Arba, which is Hebron. And Abraham and Isaac so sojourned, where Abraham and Isaac sojourned. And the days of Isaac were 180 years. How old was Isaac? 180 years, if one score is 20. How old was Isaac? Put it in the comments. Big Greg, he go a baseball Greg, and Big Sean, knock him out the park. 180 years old. Then Isaac gave up the ghost and died. Okay? And was gathered unto his people, being old and full of days, and his sons, who? Esau and Jacob, buried him. So there you got it. Are the Israelites here now, family? So we ain't read nothing about no Israelites in Genesis 10. They wasn't here. They didn't even exist. Now they exist. Let's get it. Genesis chapter 37. Genesis chapter 37. Whole chapter. Entire chapter. Let's get it. So now we see, we got the Israelites. We read earlier that God brought them out of Egypt. Let's see how they got in Egypt. Let's see how they got there. Okay? Let's see what happened. How did they even get in a situation of bondage? Let's give it to them. Genesis chapter 37. Genesis chapter 37. We want the entire chapter. Let's get it, Kim H. Let's read it to him, Kim H. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren, and the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. Joseph was a little snitch. He a little trick. Okay, and Jacob loved him more than all of them. Okay. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children. Didn't I just tell you that? Because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him and could not speak peaceably unto him. And Joseph dreamed dreams. And he told his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray ye, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field. And lo, my sheaf arose and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaves stood around about and made obvious to my sheaf. Now Joseph said, all y'all was around my sheep and y'all was bowing down to mine. That pissed them off. This they little baby brother, second from the youngest. Okay? And his brother said to him, Shall thou indeed reign over us? Or shall thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and his words. They hate you for your words when you telling people thou shalt not. And he dreamed yet another dream and told it his brethren and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more, and behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made evidence to me. Now, when you read in the book of Revelations, the sun and the moon, you know what they're talking about. The Israelites. Always. Okay? And he told it to his father and to his brethren, and his father rebuked him and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee, to the earth? And his brother envied him, but his father observed the same. And his brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. And Israel said unto Joseph, Do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said to him, Here I am. And he said to him, Go, I pray thee, see whether it be well with thy brethren and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. So he sent him out of the vale of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field, and a man asked him, saying, What seekest thou? And he said, I seek my brethren. Tell me, I pray thee, where they feed their flocks. And the man said, They are departed hence. For I heard them say, Let us go to Dothan. And Joseph went after his brethren and found them in Dothan. And when they saw him afar off, now listen closely to the brothers, when they seen Joseph coming, all right? And when they saw him far off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. They wanted to smoke him. They got so sick of him. Y'all have a good one, y'all. And they said one to another, Behold, the dreamer cometh. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him, and cast him into some pit, and we will say some evil beast has devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams. So now they want to turn their little brother into a piece of toast. But watch the big brother step up. This is why the blessing over the big brother should be thinking clear. Watch this. And Reuben, this is the oldest. Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands and said, Let us not kill him. And Reuben said unto him, Shed no blood, but cast him into this pit. Reuben stealing like me. Reuben said, No, he ain't getting away with what he been doing. We ain't going to turn him into a piece of toast. We going to drop him up in this pit. Let's get it. And Reuben said unto them, Shed no blood, but cast him into this pit, that in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him to his father again. And it came to pass, when Joseph was coming to his brethren, can you imagine the trust he had? He's the little brother. He's just doing what little kids do. He trusted his brothers, okay? And it came to pass, when Joseph was coming to his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him, the coat that his dad made. And they took him and cast him into a pit. Have a good one. And they took him and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty. There was no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of who? Ishmaelites. Here come the Arabs, baby. Came from Gilead, and their camels bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. So they carrying merchandise and product to Egypt. And Judah said unto his brethren, What profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? Come, and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites. And let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh, and his brethren were content. These are the oldest of the boys. Remember, the first four was the oldest. Then they passed by Midianites and merchantmen. Didn't we just say that? And they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. And they brought Joseph into Egypt. So we said, we getting closer. How did they even get into Egypt? Let's go. And Reuben returned into the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit. And he rent his clothes. And he returned unto his brethren and said, the child is not, and whither shall I go? And they took Joseph's coat and killed a kid of the goats and dipped the coat in the blood. And they sent the coat of the many colors, and they brought it into their father and said, this is how we found. Know not where it be thy son's coat or no. So now they lying. They're trying to make it like a beast don't ate Joseph. They took the coat that his daddy made, dipped it in some blood, took it back to Israel and said, man, we don't know where your son at, man. Beast could have ate him. They know what happened. They sold him, okay? And he knew it. And he said, is my son's coat an evil beast has devoured him? Joseph is without doubt rent in pieces. And Jacob rent his clothes and put sackcloth upon his loins and mourned for his son many days. And all the sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. And he said, for I will go down into the grave until my son's mourning. Thus his father wept for him. Hurt Israel, hurt him. And the Midianites sold him unto Egypt, unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh and captain of the guard. So now Joseph got sold to Potiphar. Potiphar is high in Pharaoh's government. Now we read about Potiphar. We didn't even got to go that far. What happened with Joseph and Potiphar? We read about that. You remember Potiphar's wife tried to give Joseph some cooch? And Joseph, remember the temptation? Remember we read Temptations? Potiphar was the husband of the woman that was trying to give Joseph some cooch. And Joseph, no. And remember she got him put in prison. Remember that? Put in the comments if you can remember eating that. Because we read it. We read it more than once. You should have that. Thank you. You read it. Remember that? Yes. I love my family. Y'all eats. Y'all remember. Everything you remember, that's the, okay? So now we know Joseph is in Egypt. Okay? Remember how Joseph got in trouble with the Potiphar's wife, tried to sleep with him, and he refused and got put in jail. Okay? Genesis chapter 40, entire chapter. Let's get it out. Morning. You better remember. You better. Come on. Genesis chapter 40, entire chapter. Come on, Mike L. Let's give it to him. Me and Michael, let's get it out. As we should, Kim H. Thank you, Brandon. Sister Sandy must be on that road talking about trucker 10-9, left. I can imagine Sandy with that occupation, boy. She must be on that, driving that bad boy. Just whipping that big thing like, come on, let's do it, y'all. Come on, Big Mike, let's give it to him. Yeah. Come on. Genesis chapter 40. We want the entire chapter, Big Mike. Let's give it to him, Michael L. And it came to pass after these things that the butler of the king of Egypt and his baker had offended their lord, the king of Egypt. And Pharaoh was wroth against the two of his officers, against the chef of the chief of the butlers, and against the chief of the bakers. And he put them in ward in the house of the captain of the guard, into the prison, the place where Joseph was bound. And the captain of the guard charged Joseph with them, and he served them, and they continually a season ward. And they dreamed a dream, both of them, each man his dream in one night, each man according to the interpretation of his dream, the butler and the baker of the king of Egypt, which were bound in the prison. And Joseph came into them in the morning and looked upon them. Now Joseph was running stuff in the prison. Joseph was a top in Potiphar's house. Now he the head in this prison. See, God blesses his no matter where you at. Wherever you at, you're going to be blessing everybody around you because you serve the God of Israel with all your heart. And Joseph came into them in the morning and looked upon them and said, they were sad. And he asked Pharaoh's officers, that were with him in the ward of his Lord's house, saying, Wherefore look ye so sadly today? And they said unto him, We have dreamed a dream, and there is no interpretation of it. And Joseph said unto them, Do not interpretations belong to God? Tell me them, I pray you. And the chief butler told his dream to Joseph and said to him, In my dream, behold, a vine was before me. And in the vine were 3 branches, and it were as though it budded. And her blossoms shot forth, and the clusters thereof brought forth ripe grapes. And Pharaoh's cup was in my hand. And I took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup, and I gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. And Joseph said unto him, This is the interpretation of it. The 3 branches are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thy head and restore thee into thy place. And thou shalt deliver Pharaoh's cup into his hands after the former manner when thou wast his butler. So now Joseph told the butler, man, you about to get up out. You about to get released. And you're gonna be right back with with Pharaoh taking care of him, okay? Now let's see the baker's dream. But within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up his head and restore thee into thy place, and thou shalt deliver Pharaoh's cup into his hand after the former manner when thou wast his butler. But think on me when it shall be. Now listen closely what Joseph is saying. Listen what Joseph is telling this man. But think on me when it shall be well with thee, and show kindness, I pray thee, unto me, and make mention of me unto Pharaoh, and bring me out of this house. Now Joseph don't told the butler, when you get out, tell Pharaoh about me, man, so I can get up out of here. That happens. I was in jail, man, and the brother was like, man, I can't give me this. And I said, man, I'll do it for you. Just give it to me. When I get out, I got you. Man, as soon as I get out, woohoo, I forgot all about it. I ain't gonna even lie. Have a good one. I'm out. It was wrong of me, but I forgot them brothers. As soon as I got out of jail, forgot them, and went on about my life, and it dawned on me like, oh my God. And I still had all their papers that they gave me. They gave me little messages to give people and all that, and I felt bad about that. But that's everybody. People go to jail and they get out talking about some, I got you, man. As soon as you sniff that fresh air, you forget everything. You right back in, let's get it. Come on. For indeed I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews. And here also have I done nothing that they should put me into the dungeon. So now Joseph is saying, my brother sold me. I got stolen, and I ain't done nothing. The wife tried to have sex with me, and I didn't do it. And I'm in jail for nothing. I ain't do nothing. When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, he said unto Joseph, I also was in my dream, and behold, I had 3 white baskets on my head. This baker ain't gonna want to hear his dream. He ain't gonna want to hear it. His dream is deadly. Watch this. And in the uppermost basket there was of all manner of baked meats for Pharaoh, and the birds did eat them out of the baskets upon my head. And Joseph answered and said, This is the interpretation thereof. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thy head from off thee. He said in 3 days Pharaoh gonna take your head off, bro. Your head is toast. And shall hang thee on a tree. And the birds shall eat thy flesh from off thee. That wasn't a good interpretation. Man, get on away from me. I don't want to hear nothing. Yeah? Toast. And it came to pass the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday. How many times we read about birthdays in here? That he made a feast unto all these his servants, and he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among the servants. And he restored the chief butler into his butlership again, and he gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. But he hanged the chief baker, as Joseph has interpreted to them. Yet did not the chief butler remember Joseph, but forgot him. So soon as he got out, he forgot all about Joseph. That was in my younger days, when I was a young man, when I was living in sin. I was getting locked up left and right. I wasn't a good criminal. It kills me man, you should see my police record. I got this on it, I got that on it. I look at him like this. What you want me to give you props because you a criminal? Well, if you got a police record longer than a phone book, you wasn't a good criminal. You kept getting caught. I wasn't a good criminal. I kept getting caught. Yeah. So just listen to these goofies when they say stuff. His boys walk around boasting about, man, you should see my record. I'm crazy with it. And I just sit back and look at him. Evidently, you ain't a smart criminal. You keep getting caught. Come on, let's go. Genesis chapter 41. Genesis chapter 41. The entire chapter. I heard that, Henry. No more for me, baby. No more for me. You ain't, I'm 50. I can't be giving no hoe. You get none of my time, prison system. Come on, let's get it. Let's get it. And it came to pass. We had Genesis chapter 41. Let's read it to him, Henry. Your mentor, you all messed up. I heard that Henry say, no more for me. Mentor says his stuff is messed up a little bit. Thank you, Brandon. Genesis chapter 40. We got to get this. We got to blast this out because they about to try to take this down. We got a lot left. Okay, they're going to try to take this death. So we got to blast this out. So work with me. And it came to pass at the end of 2. Come on, Henry. And it came to pass, Genesis chapter 41, entire chapter. And it came to pass at the end of 2 full years that Pharaoh dreamed, and behold, he stood by the river. And behold, there came up out of the river 7 well-favored kine and fat flesh, and they fed in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them out of the river, ill-favored and lean-fleshed, and stood by the other kine upon the brink of the river. And the ill-favored and lean-favored kind did eat up the 7 well-favored and fine kine. So Pharaoh awoke, and he slept and dreamed a second time, and behold, 7 ears of corn came up upon one stalk, rank and good. And behold, 7 thin ears, and blasted with the east wind, sprung up after them. And the 7 thin ears devoured the 7 rank and full ears, and Pharaoh awoke, and beheld, it was a dream. And it came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled, and he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt, and all the wise men thereof. And Pharaoh told them his dream, but there was none that could interpret them unto Pharaoh. Then spake the chief butler. Now the butler remembered. See, the butler remembered Joseph. Then spake the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I do remember my faults this day. So the butler remembered it. He said, I made a mistake. Pharaoh was wroth with his servant, and put me in ward in the captains of the guard's house, both me and the chief baker. And we dreamed a dream in one night. I and he, we dreamed each man according to the interpretation of his dream. And there was there with us a young man, a Hebrew, servant of the captain of the guard. And we told him, have a great day today. And we told him, and he interpreted to us our dreams. To each man according to his dream he did interpret. And it came to pass as he interpreted to us, so it was me he restored into my office, and him he hanged. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him hastily out of the dungeon. And he shaved himself and changed his raiment and came in unto Pharaoh. So you got to be clean walking up into these boys. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is none that can interpret it. And I have heard, say I thee, that thou canst understand the dream to interpret it. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, it is not in me. God shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Always give glory to God. If somebody compliment you, say glory to God. Because it ain't you, it's him. Never put yourself before God. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, in my dream, behold, I stood upon the bank of the river. And behold, there came up out of the river 7 kine, fat-fleshed and well-favored, and they fed in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them, poor and very ill-favored, and lean-fleshed, such as I never saw in the land of Egypt for badness. And the lean and the ill-fattest kine did eat up the first 7 fat kine. And when they had eaten them up, it could not be known that they had eaten them, but they were still ill-favored, as at the beginning. So I awoke, and I saw in my dream, and behold, 7 ears came up, and one stalk full and good. And behold, 7 ears withered then, and blasted with the east wind sprung up after them. And the thin ears devoured the 7 good ears. And I told this unto the magicians, but there was none that could declare it to me. And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, the dream of Pharaoh is one. God has showed Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good kind are 7 years, and the 7 ears are 7 years. The dream is one. And the 7 thin and ill-favored kind that came up after them are 7 years, and the 7 empty ears blasted with the east wind shall be 7 years of famine. So now he's telling them the dream. He said, you're going to have 7 good years and 7 bad years, okay? This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh, what God is about to do. He showeth unto Pharaoh, behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt, and there shall arise after them 7 years of famine. And all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and a famine shall consume the land. And the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of that famine following, for it shall be very grievous. And for that the dream was doubled into Pharaoh twice, as it because the thing is established by God, and God will surely bring it to pass. Now therefore, let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years, and let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. And that food shall be for store in the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the famine. And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh, and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, can we find such a one as this? Can we find such a one as this is a man in whom the Spirit of God is? And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, forasmuch as God has showed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. So he said, can we find such a one as this is a man in whom the Spirit of God is? That means Joseph dealing with the Holy Ghost. Yeah, Holy Ghost, Spirit of God. Tell the truth, nothing but the truth, okay? Genesis chapter 41, verse 40. Thou shalt be over my house, and according to all thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than thou. Oh, bingo, there you go. That's how we got in Egypt. Joseph. That's how you got in Egypt. They walked in. Now we're going to cut it. We're going to cut that right there because we got to get them out. Let me see if there's anything important I need to give you. All right. So now we know that's how they got up in there. Joseph was up in there. All that stuff that his brothers did to him led up to this very point. Okay? Led up to this very point. Let's do 42. Genesis chapter 42, entire chapter. Let me read it to you. Genesis chapter 42, entire chapter. Come on, mustache, let's get them out. Okay? They walked in. We said that earlier, Kenneth. They walked in. Okay? Now when Jacob saw that there was corn in Egypt, Jacob said unto his sons, why do you look one upon another? And he said, behold, I have heard that there is corn in Egypt. Get ye down thither, and buy for us from thence, that we may live and not die. And Joseph's 10 brethren went down to buy corn in Egypt, but Benjamin, Joseph's brother, Jacob sent not with his brethren, for he said, lest peradventure, have a good day, morning, Thursday, least peradventure mischief befall him. So now Jacob a little sketchy about his little babies now. Y'all big old selves go. Y'all not taking my youngest boy. My other one already toast. He already think Joseph is toast. And the sons of Israel came to buy corn among those that came, for the famine was in the land of Canaan. And Joseph was the governor over the land. And he it was that sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brethren came and bowed down themselves before him with their faces to the earth. And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them, and spake roughly unto them. And he said unto them, Whence come ye? And they said, From the land of Canaan, to buy food. So now Joseph's brothers is in front of them. They don't know this Joseph. Joseph knows them. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew not him. We just said that. And Joseph remembered the dreams which he dreamed of them. And he said unto them, You are spies to see the nakedness of the land you are come. Now Joseph said he remembered the dream. What was the dream? That he was a sheep and they was bowing down to him. Put it in the comments. Did that dream come true? Did that dream come true? Joseph said, I got a dream. I'm a sheep and all the other sheep around me was bowing down to me. And they picked, yes. Thank you, Mike. Me and Mike read it to you. Yes. Come on, let's give it to him. Genesis chapter 42, verse 10. And they said unto him, Nay, my Lord, but to buy food are thy servants come. We are all one man's son. We are true men, thy servants are no spies. And he said to them, Nah, but to see the nakedness of the land you are come. Now Joseph is pulling a chain. He grinding them up a little bit. And he said, Thy servants are 12 brethren, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And behold, the youngest is this day with our father, and one is not. Talking about Joseph. And he's sitting there looking to him. And Joseph said unto them, That it is that I spake unto you, saying, You are spies. Hereby you shall be proved. By the life of Pharaoh you shall not go forth hence, except your youngest brother come hither. Send one of you and let him fetch your brother, and you shall be kept in prison, that your words may be proved, whether there be any truth in you, or else by thy life of Pharaoh surely you are spies. And he put them all together in wars 3 days. And Joseph said unto them, The third day this do, and live, for I fear God. If you be true men, let one of your brethren be bound in the house of your prison. Go ye carry corn for the famine of your house, but bring your youngest brother unto me. So shall your words be verified, and you shall not die. And they did so. So now Joseph said, Go get Benjamin. He playing with him. If you want these brothers, go get them. I think y'all spies, okay? Bring me your youngest brother unto me, so your words be verified, and you shall not die. And they did so. And they said one to another, We are verily guilty concerning our brothers, in that we saw the anguish of his soul when he besought us, and we would not hear. Therefore is this distress come upon us. Now they remember Joseph. They saying, We did that. This is why we do it. This is why we're going through for what we did to our brother. And Reuben answered them, saying, Spake I not unto you, saying, Do not sin against this child? Remember, Reuben the one that stopped them. And you would not hear. Good morning, B. Therefore, behold, his blood is required. And they knew not that Joseph understood them, for he spake unto them by an interpreter. So Joseph is acting like he don't even know their language. They talking in their own language. That's Joseph's language too. He hear everything they saying. Okay? And he turned himself about from them and wept and returned to them again. So he went away and started crying a little because he loved his brother. He see his brothers. He kind of hyped. Okay? And communed with them and took from them Simeon and bound him before their eyes. Then Joseph commanded to fill their sacks with corn, and to restore every man's money into his sack, and to give them provisions for the way. And thus did he do unto them. And thus did he unto them. Now, when you read this account in Jasher, it's juicy. That's your homework. You're going to reread this in the book of Jasher. You're going to see some fighting, some screaming. It's going down. That's your homework. And they laddered their asses with the corn and departed thence. And as one of them opened their sack to give his ass provender in the end, he espied his money, for behold, it was in his sack's mouth. And he said unto his brethren, My money is restored, and lo, it is even in my sack. And their heart failed them, and they were afraid, saying one to another, What is this that God has done unto us? So Joseph, they bought the corn, but Joseph don't give their money back. And they came unto Jacob their father unto the land of Canaan, and told him all that befell unto them, saying, The man who is the Lord of the land spake roughly to us, and took us for spies of the country. And we said unto him, we are true men, we are no spies. We be 12 brethren, sons of our father, one is not, and the youngest is, this day with our father in the land of Canaan. And a man, the Lord of the country, said unto us, hereby shall I know that you are true men. Leave one of your brethren here with me, and take food for the famine of your household, and be gone. And bring your youngest brother unto me. Then shall I know that you are no spies, but that you are true men. So when I deliver you your brother, and you shall traffic in the land. And it came to pass, as they emptied their sacks, that behold, every man's bundle of money was in his sack. And when both they and their father saw the bundles of money, they were afraid. And Jacob, their father, said unto them, Me have you bereaved of my children. Joseph is not, and Simeon is not, and you will take Benjamin away? All these things are against me. So now he think his babies is toast. And Reuben spake unto his father, saying, slay my 2 sons, if I bring him not to thee. Deliver him into my hands, and I will bring them to thee again. Now this is Judah saying, you can kill my 2 babies. You can get them if I don't bring these kids back. I'm sorry, this is Reuben. This is Reuben saying, you can get my 2 sons if I don't bring them back. And he said, my sons shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead. You good, B? I'm all right. And he is left alone. If mischief befall him by the way in the which you go, then shall you bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave. He said, if this one go, I'm dead. I'm going to die. I can't handle another baby going nowhere. Okay? All right. We got a lot of reading. Genesis chapter 43, entire chapter. Let's get it. We got to read it. We got to get it out. We almost done. All right. And the famine was sore in the land. And it came to pass, when they had eaten up the corn which they had brought out of Egypt, their father said unto him, go again, buy us a little food. And Judah spake unto them, saying, the man did solemnly protest unto us, saying, you shall not see my face, except your brother be with you. If thou wilt send our brother with us, we will go down and buy thee food. But if thou wilt not send him, we will not go down. For the man said unto us, you shall not see my face, except your brother be with you. And Israel said, wherefore deal you so ill with me, as to tell the man whether you had yet a brother? He said, why didn't you even tell him you had a brother? And they said, the man asked us straightly of our state and of our kindred, saying, if your father yet alive, have you another brother? Have a good day, guys. And we told him according to the tenor of these words. Have a good day, y'all. Could we certainly know that he would say, bring your brother down? So they said, we told him this. We didn't know he was about to say that. Now come on. And Judah said unto Israel, here go Judah. And Judah said unto Israel, his father, send the lad with me, and we will arise and go, that we may live and not die, both we and thou, and also our little ones. Now these Israelite boys, they are straight beasts. Do you understand? They will wreck whole cities. They will yell and kill people. They would scream and people would just drop dead, these boys. I'm talking about ruthless boys. I told you what Reuben and Simeon did for raping Dinah. When they raped Dinah, they wrecked the whole shit gym for that. They wasn't no joke. So Judah telling him, man, give me my little brother. I'm going to go down. I'll take care of all this, okay? Let's go. I will be surely for him of my hand, that thou shalt require him. If I bring him not unto thee and set him before thee, then let me bear the blame forever. Judah said, I got this. Ain't nobody. I'm going to wreck them all, okay? For except we had lingered, surely now we had returned this second time. And their father Israel said unto them, if it must be so now, do this. Take up the best fruit in the land in your vessels, and carry down a man a present, a little balm and a little honey, spices and myrrh, nuts and almonds. Take him a little gift, okay? And take double money in your hands, and the money that thou hast brought again in thy mouth of your sacks, carry it again in your hands. Peradventure it was an oversight. Take also your brother and arise, go again unto the man. He said, take that money that they gave and then take some more money. Just in case they try to trick you, you can give them their money back. All right? And God Almighty give you mercy before the man, that he may send away your other brother and Benjamin. If I be bereaved of my children, I am bereaved. And the men took that present, and they took double money in their hands, and Benjamin, and rose up and went down to Egypt and stood before Joseph. Now watch this. And when Joseph saw Benjamin with them, he said to the rulers of his house, bring these men home and slay, and make ready, for these men shall dine with me at noon. So Joseph saw Benjamin, he ready to party. And the men did as Joseph bade. And the man brought the men into Joseph's house. And the men were afraid, because they were brought into Joseph's house. And they said, because of the money that was returned in our sacks at the first time, are we brought in that? He may seek occasion against us and fall upon us and take us for bondmen and our asses. And they came near to the steward of Joseph's house, and they communed with him at the door of the house and said, O sir, we came indeed down at the first time to buy food. And it came to pass, when we came to the end, that we opened our sacks, and behold, every man's money was in the mouth of his sack. Our money is full weight, and we have brought it again in our hands. And other money have we brought down in our hands to buy food. We cannot tell who put our money in our sacks. And he said, peace be to you. Fear not. Your God and the God of your father has given you treasure in your sacks. I had your money. And he brought Simeon out unto them. And the men brought the men unto Joseph's house, and gave them water, and they washed their feet. And he gave their asses provender. And they made ready the presents against Joseph came at noon. And they heard that they should eat bread there. And when Joseph came home, they brought him the presents which was in their hand into the house, and bowed themselves to the earth. And he asked them of their welfare, and said, is your father well, the old man of whom you spake? Is he yet alive? Now Joseph wanted to know about his dad, okay? And they answered, thy servant, our father, is in good health, yet he is yet alive. And they bowed down their heads and made obeisance. And he lifted up his eyes and saw his brother Benjamin, his mother's son. That's Rachel's. They fully blooded. His mother's son, and said, is this your youngest brother, of whom you spake unto me? And he said, God be gracious unto thee, my son. And Joseph made haste, for his bowels did yearn upon his brother, and he saw where to weep. And he entered into his chamber, and he wept there. So he had to get away to go cry, because he didn't want to blow his cover. And he washed his face and went out and refrained himself and said, set on bread. And they set on him for himself, and for them by themselves, and for the Egyptians which did eat with them by themselves, because the Egyptians might not eat bread with the Hebrews. That's been like that forever. For this is an abomination unto the Egyptians. And they set before him the firstborn according to the birthright, and the youngest according to his youth. And the men marveled one another. And he took and sent messes unto them from before him. But Benjamin's mess was 5 times so much as any of theirs. And they drank and were merry with him. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. So now we got the family, all they eating together, Benjamin there, okay? We got a lot of reading. I still got 1, 2, we got 2 more whole chapters, and we can get through this. We're going to get through this. They're going to be coming. We got this. Genesis chapter 44, let's get him out, entire chapter. Let's do it. And he commanded the steward of the house, saying, fill the men's sack with food, as much as they can carry, and put every man's money in his sack's mouth. And put my cup, the silver cup, in the sack's mouth of the youngest, and his corn money. And he did according to the word that Joseph had spoken. Now Joseph is trying to test them. He's trying to trick them one more time, okay? As soon as the morning was light, the men were sent away, that they and their asses. And when they were going out of the city and not yet far off, Joseph said unto his steward, up, follow after the men. You have a good day, big dog. And when thou didst overtake them, say unto them, wherefore has you rewarded evil for good? Is not this in which my Lord drinketh, and whereby indeed he divided? You have done evil in so doing. And he overtook them, and he spake unto them these same words. And they said unto him, wherefore says my Lord these words? God forbid that thy servants should do according to this thing. So now they try to make like they stole the cup. He put it in Benjamin's little bag. And when the servant came, they tried to make it like they stole the cup, but they didn't. Behold, the money which we found in our sack's mouth, we brought again unto thee out of the land of Canaan. How then should we steal out of thy Lord's house silver or gold? They like, we didn't steal that. Okay? With whomsoever of thy servants it be found, both let him die, and we also will buy my Lord's bondsman. So they said, whichever bag you find, whatever you find in one of these bags, because they didn't think that they had it. And he said, now also let it be according unto your words. He with whom it is found shall be my servant, and you shall be blameless. Then they speedily took down every man his sack to the ground, and opened every man his sack. And he searched, and began at the elders, and left at the youngest, and the cup was found in Benjamin's sack. Now you heard how Israel was, which is Jacob, about Benjamin. He said, if he don't come back, I'm a piece of toast. Have a great day, y'all. Now watch this. Then they rent their clothes and laded every man his ass and returned to the city. And Judah his brethren came to Joseph's house, for he was yet there. And they fell before him on the ground. And Joseph said unto them, what deed is this that you have done? Want you not that such a man as I certainly divine? And Judah said, what shall we say unto my Lord? What shall we speak? Or how shall we clear ourselves? God has found out the iniquity of thy servants. Behold, we are my Lord's servants, both we and he also with whom the cup is found. And he said, God forbid that I should do so, but the man in whose hand the cup is found, he shall be my servant. And as for you, get up out in peace unto your father. So he said, wherever I find my cup, that's going to be my servant. Then Judah came near unto him and said, O my Lord, let thy servant, I pray thee, speak a word in my Lord's ears, and let not thy anger burn against thy servant. For thou art even as Pharaoh, my Lord, asked his servant, saying, have you a father or a brother? And we said unto my Lord, we have a father, an old man, and a child of his old age, a little one, and his brother is dead. And he alone is left of his mother, and his father loveth him. And thou saidest unto thy servant, bring him down unto me, that I may set my eyes upon him. And we said unto my Lord, the lad cannot leave his father, for if we should leave his father would die. And thou saidest unto thy servants, except your youngest brother come down with you, you shall see my face no more. So Joseph is playing this trick to the T. Okay? Morning, y'all. Let me wet my whistle a little bit. And it came to pass, when they came up unto the servant my father, we told him the words of my Lord, and our father said, go again and buy us a little food. And we said, we cannot go down if our youngest brother be with us. Then we will go down, for we may not see the man's face except our youngest brother be with us. And thy servant my father said unto us, we know that my wife bare me 2 sons. And the one went out from me, and I said, surely he is torn in pieces, and I saw him not since. And if you take this also from me, and mischief befall him, you shall bring down my gray hairs with sorrows to the grave. Now therefore, when I come to thy servant my father, and thy lad be not with us, seeing that his life is bound up in the lad's life, it shall come to pass, when he sees that the lad is not with us, he will die. And thy servant shall bring down the gray hairs of thy servant, our fathers, with sorrow to the grave. He's saying, if we don't bring our little brother back, our daddy's going to die. He can't take another death. Okay? For thy servant became surely for thy lad unto my father, saying, if I bring him not unto thee, I shall bear the blame to my father forever. Now therefore, I pray thee, let thy servant obey instead of the lad, a bondsman to my Lord, and let the lad go up with his brethren. For how shall I go up to my father, and the lad be not with me? Lest peradventure I see the evil that shall come on my father. Now he's saying, take me. Let me send Benjamin back, because I don't want my dad to die. Okay? Let's get it. Genesis chapter 45, entire chapter. Morning. This week, we cutting through this. We got 3 more and we done. Then Joseph I need one of y'all brothers to y'all got to read this morning. Somebody got to read Psalms 51 for me this morning, because I got to break this down quick. Okay? Come on, let's do this. Then Joseph could not refrained himself before he couldn't take it no more. Joseph said, enough of the charade, okay? Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all them that stood by him, and he cried, because every man did go out from me, and there stood no man with him, while Joseph made himself known unto his brethren. He said, I'm your brother. Y'all the ones that threw me in the pit. I'm me. That's me. And he wept aloud, and the Egyptians in the house of Pharaoh heard. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph. Doeth my father yet live? And his brother could not answer him, for they were troubled at his presence. They tried to smoke him. Now they looking at him. They don't know what he about to do to him. They like, oh my God, this our brother, okay? And Joseph said unto his brethren, come near to me, I pray ye. And they came near. And he said, I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into Egypt. Now watch Joseph break it. This is what I be telling y'all. God put all type of stuff in your life, and it's going to lead to something else. Good morning, y'all. If it's Joseph had a hard time. But look what happened. Now therefore be not grieved, nor angry with yourselves that you sold me hither. For God did send me before you to preserve life. He sent me, he did this. This was all done on purpose. If I wasn't here, y'all was toast. What's up, big dog? I'm good. I'm good. My man. Come on, let's get it. Some of y'all don't realize that. Y'all be going through a rough time in your life, and boom, God don't open up, and you sit there, God, that's you, saving life, putting people's soul in check, because you done went through a hard life, and you know what it is. You know about God. He worked. This is universal. This goes on throughout generation after generation, and you hard on yourself. Oh, I had a hard life. Look at you now. Look at you now. Come on. And God sent me before you to preserve you a posterity in the earth and to save your lives by a great deliverance. So how is it was not you that sent me hither, but God? And he has made me a father to Pharaoh and Lord of all his house and a ruler throughout all the land of Egypt. Joseph telling this, bro, I run this, bro. God put me in this position to save y'all. Haste ye and go up to my father and say unto him, thus says thy son Joseph, God has made me Lord of all Egypt. Come down unto me. Tarry not. Now Joseph wants his daddy. Go get my daddy. Okay, come on. And thou shalt dwell in the land of Goshen. They walked in, baby. They wasn't taken. Goshen. This is where they dwell. Okay? And thou shalt dwell in the land of Goshen, and thou shalt be near unto me, thou and thy children, and thy children's children, and thy flocks, and thy herds, and all that thou hast, and there will I nourish thee. For yet there are 5 years of famine, lest thou and thy household, and all that has come to poverty. And behold, your eyes see, and the eyes of my brother Benjamin, that is in my mouth, that speaketh unto you. And you shall tell my father of all my glory in Egypt, and of all that you have seen. And you shall haste and bring me down, my father, hither. And he fell upon his brother Benjamin's neck and wept. And Benjamin wept upon his neck. Can you imagine the reunion they just had? These brothers. The second from the youngest don't save them all. Morning, y'all. I'm good. Genesis chapter 45, verse 14. Moreover, he kissed all his brethren and wept upon them. And after that, his brethren talked with him. And the fame thereof was heard in Pharaoh's house, saying, Joseph, brethren are come. And it pleased Pharaoh well and his servant. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, say unto thy brethren, this do ye. Lad your beasts, and go get you unto the land of Canaan, and take your father and your households, and come unto me. And I will give you the good of the land of Egypt, and you shall eat the fat of the land. Now thou art commanded, this do you. Take ye wagons out of the land of Egypt, for your little ones and for your wives, and bring your father and come. Also regard not your stuff, for the good of all the land of Egypt is yours. Good morning. And the children of Israel did so. And Joseph gave them wagons according to the commandments of Pharaoh, and gave them provision for the way. To all of them he gave each man changes of raiment, but to Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver. That's his little brother. And 5 changes of raiment. He gave him more. And Benjamin had nothing to do with throwing him in the pit either. Benjamin wasn't even there. And to his father he sent after the manna 10 asses laden with the good things of Egypt, and 10 she-asses laden with corn and bread and meat for his father by the way. So he sent his brethren away, and they departed. And he said unto them, see that you fall not out by the way. And they went up out of Egypt, and came into the land of Canaan unto Jacob their father, and told him, saying, Joseph is yet alive, and he is governor over all the land of Egypt. And Jacob heart fainted, for he believed them not. He didn't believe his baby was still alive. And they told him all the words of Joseph, which he had said unto them. Good morning, brother, looking sharp as usual. And when he said the wagons which Joseph had sent to carry them, the spirit of Jacob their father revived. Now he believed. He seen all that stuff. I know, where y'all get all this stuff from? From your brother, from your son. And Israel said, it is enough. Joseph, my son, is yet alive. I will go and see him before I die. Daddy want to go see his baby, okay? Pop over to Exodus chapter 47. We almost done. We don't cut this. God is good. Thank you, Father. Exodus chapter 47. Exodus chapter 47. Let's get it. Exodus chapter 47. We want verses 1 through 11. 1 through 11. Let's get it. Thank you for that. Let's get it. Want to know why we are all preaching lately? Is because the end time Jesus pours out his spirit. I was about to block you, but that was very nice to say. I thought you was being slick. You too. Let's get it. Genesis chapter 47, verses 1 through 11. This is the Israelites. You hear them? You know about them. You read them. Okay? Let's get it. Then Joseph came and told Pharaoh and said, my father, my brethren, and their flocks and their herds, and all that they have are come out of the land of Canaan. And behold, they are in the land of Goshen. And he took some of his brethren, even 5 men, and presented them unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto his brethren, what is your occupation? And they said unto Pharaoh, thy servants are shepherds, both we and also our fathers. They said moreover unto Pharaoh, for to sojourn in the land we come. For thy servants have no pasture for their flocks. For the famine is sore in the land of Canaan. Now therefore, we pray thee, let thy servants dwell in the land of Goshen. And Pharaoh spake unto Joseph, saying, thy father and thy brethren are come unto thee. The land of Egypt is before thee. In the best of the land make thy father and brethren to dwell. In the land of Goshen let them dwell. And if thou knowest any man of activity among them, then make them rulers over my cattle. And Joseph brought in Jacob his father and set him before Pharaoh, and Jacob blessed Pharaoh. So Israel blessed the Pharaoh of Egypt, okay? And Pharaoh said unto Jacob, how old art thou? And Jacob said unto Pharaoh, the days of the years of my pilgrims are 130 years. Few and evil have the days of the years of my life been, and have not attained unto the days of the years of the life of my fathers, in the days of their pilgrimages. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh, and went out from before Pharaoh. And Joseph placed his father and his brethren, and gave them a possession in the land of Egypt, in the best of the land, in the land of Ramesses, as Pharaoh had commanded. I'm sorry about that. Does it say locker on your phone?
But my car is all the way up there in the middle
Come
of
on.
the street.
No, you ain't got to be sorry. Go get your car. Because they trying to get their COVID money. Go ahead. I got you. Okay. Now they in Goshen now. They walked into Egypt. Now we heard God get them out of Egypt. We heard how the Israelites was born, their moms, their dad, how they got the name Israel and Israelite. Okay? Let's see. They didn't do nothing wrong. Let's see what happened. How did they get even put in that bondage to be taken out? Let's get it. This will be the last one for this morning, and I love them. Exodus chapter 1. Head over to Exodus chapter 1. Let's get them out. What happened? everything is sweet. Everything is sweet. They got the best of the land in Egypt. They got food. They all together again. What happened? How many people walked out of Egypt? How many people did Moses lead out of Egypt? I told you to write that on your paper. Put it in the comments. How many people did Moses lead out of Egypt? How many Israelites came up out of that bad boy? Put it in the comments. How many? 600K. Thank you, Big Sean. Thank you, Portia. Thank you, Blazer. 600K. And let's pay attention to this. Let's see how real this is. Let's pay attention. Morning, y'all. Look at him, like, I know what happened. You better. You better. You a spokesman of this. Come on, let's give it to him, bro. This is the last one for the morning. Exodus chapter 1, verses 1 through 14. Let's give it to him, bro. Come on. You have a good day at work, Tracy. Love you dearly. Be safe. Let's go. I heard that, Kimberly. Let's go. Now, these are the names of the children of Israel which came into Egypt. Every man and his household came with Jacob. Reuben, firstborn. Simeon, Levi, and Judah. We read about all these boys. Issachar, Zebulun, Benjamin, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. Listen closely. And all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls. For Joseph was in Egypt already. So 70 Israelites. This family, mean we can add it up to 80 because Joseph was already there. He's an Israelite. Started 600,000 walking out of Egypt. 70. We can say 80. Come on. And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all that generation. So all of them has died. They gone. Okay? And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly, and multiplied and waxed exceedingly mighty, and the land was filled with them. Now listen closely. Now there arose up a new king over Egypt. First of all, stop listening to these goofies telling you Ptolemy is this boy. Ptolemy not even born yet. Ptolemy is one of Alexander the Great's generals. This is a long time before that. I got more homework for you. I want you to look up the Hyksos. Hyskos. The Hyksos. That's who this is. Stop listening to them goofies. They goofy. The Hyksos, that's your homework. Look them up, and you're going to read about them. Okay? They is, Yank. They is. Come on. Now there rose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Jacob. First of all, Egyptians record everything. They record everything. So how you know this is the Hyksos? Because this is a whole nother race of people. They don't care about Egyptians' history. Okay? And they said, listen to what these Egyptians talking about. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply and it come to pass that when they falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us. And so we get them up out of the land. So he's saying basically, we gotta put these boys in a subjection, because what the Hyksos did, they came and took over Egypt. But the Egyptians they took over, they said we got to get them straight because they're going to team back up with them and they're going to get us. Okay? Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom, and Ramses. Now the Israelites building all this. They enslaved now. Okay? This is the slavery, the bondage that Moses got them out of. They didn't do nothing. These Egyptians were scared of them, and they put bondage on them. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied. Oh, you ain't got to tell me that COVID was inflicted. It's a saying in our race, If you and a woman if you and a woman is in a house together, y'all better have cable, because y'all ain't gonna do nothing but have babies. You better have cable. If you and an Israelite and our people, a black man and a black cannot live in the same house together, and you better not believe they better have some type of distraction, because ain't nothing but babies gonna be coming up out of there. Let's go. Hey, you better have some cable. Come on. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor, and they made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and in brick and in manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made themselves serve was with rigor. You understand these things? That's how they got into Egypt. They walked in. Okay? Those are the Israelites. That's part 2. Part 2. Okay? Man, thank y'all. All 400. There was a long one. Y'all got the scripture so you can reread it. Break it down and read it over. Okay? Bow your heads. I love y'all. All 430 of y'all. Thank you for reading with me. All 430. Okay? You got that. Can't nobody play with you. How somebody gonna tell a black woman or a black man they not Israel? We know the races. We don't deal with the races that men calls us. We deal with the races that God called us. That's how you single out people. You a Hamite. You a Gentile. You a Israelite. You just read the book. Okay? Find it for yourself in the book of Jasher. I want you to learn how to investigate. Look for what you're looking for. Find the key words and read it. Don't let nobody hold your hand dealing with God. I love y'all too. Don't let nobody play. We Israel. Bow your heads. Father God, we come before you this morning to ask that you dispatch a legion of angels around our children when they go about their day for protection. Father God, we ask for a hedge around our homes for protection. Father God, we ask for spiritual bumpers and a hedge around all our vehicles for protection. Excuse me. Father God, we ask that you send the sick and those with infirmities and magnify the Holy Ghost and give them comfort, give them peace. If it's in your will, heal them, Father God. Father God, we ask that you send the hopeless our way. Everyone in his family, everyone that reads, send the hopeless our way so we can give them words of hope. Father God, we ask that you put a hedge around our places of employment for protection. Father God, we ask that you protect us from things that are seen and from things that are unseen. All these things we ask in the name of your son, Jesus. Amen. I love y'all dearly, man. Y'all better come on, man. Y'all got to get up here and read this. One of you brothers right now, Henrock, somebody, read. Good night, Sister Brandy. I love you. I need help, brothers. I need help. Come on, somebody get it and kick it out real quick. We didn't got time to even play the little joke on people.
Good morning, everybody. God
Good
bless you
morning.
in Jesus' name.
I love you
Let's
guys
get
so
it.
much. Let me break
Psalm
this deck down.
51. Y'all should have this marked by now. Psalm 51. We know we do this every day, folks. Let me know when everybody gets there. Good morning, Yankee. Good morning, Sandy. Good morning, Immortus. Good morning, Kim H.
Anybody need to come up? Immortus, you need to come up real quick. I break this desk down. Morning, Miss Molly.
Good
You
morning,
too.
ECG. Dana Jackson. Ready? Hybro said he's ready. Yvette. Good morning. Sean ready. Jose ready.
What's up,
DC
bro?
ready.
Let's say lockers on there. Let me see.
All right, everybody looking like they're ready. All right, here we go. Have
That's all you
mercy
got on
upon me, O God. according to thy loving kindness, according unto the multitude of thy tender mercies, blot out my transgressions. Wash me thoroughly from my iniquities, and cleanse me from my sin. For I acknowledge my transgressions, and my sin is ever before me. Against thee, thee only, have I sinned and done this evil in thy sight, that thou mightest be justified when thou speakest, and be clear when thou judgest. Behold, I was shapen in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me. Behold, thou desirest truth in the inward part, and in the hidden part thou shalt make me to know wisdom. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. Make me to hear joy and gladness, that the bones which thou hast broken may rejoice. Hide thy face from my sins, and blot out all mine iniquities. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Cast me not away from thy presence, and take not thy Holy Spirit from me. Restore unto me the joy of thy salvation, and uphold me with thy free spirit. Then will I teach transgressors thy ways, and sinners shall be converted unto thee. Deliver me from blood guiltiness, O God, thou God of my salvation, and my tongue shall sing aloud thy righteousness. O Lord, open thou my lips, and my mouth shall shew forth thy praise. For thou desirest not sacrifice, else would I give it. Thou delightest not in burnt offering. The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. O God, thou wilt not despise. Do good in thy good pleasure unto Zion. Build thou the walls of Jerusalem. Then shalt thou be pleased with the sacrifices of righteousness, with burnt offering and whole burnt offering. Then shall they offer bullocks upon thine altar. Amen. Just because Yard Dog had brought it up the other day, Psalms 103, everybody. Psalms 103. Let me know when y'all get there.
Thank you, brother. Have a great day.
You're welcome, everybody. Amen.
Straight up, bro. Don't hard my leg, bro. Straight up. They say they come out sometimes.
Jessica there.
You straight on something.
Nisi there.
Oh, these Amazon guys.
Say the first, bro. Like,
Get to like 4 or 5 more people get a Sean there. Blaze there. Yankee there. Vet there. All right, let's get it. Psalm 103. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits, who forgiveth all thine iniquities, who healeth all thy diseases, who redeemeth thy life from destruction, who crowneth thee with loving kindness and tender mercies, who satisfieth thy mouth with good things, so that thy youth is renewed like the eagles. The Lord executeth righteousness and judgment for all that are oppressed. He made known his ways unto Moses, his acts unto the children of Israel. The Lord is merciful and gracious, slow to anger, and plenteous in mercy. He will not always chide,
you got us on
neither
the
will
head.
he keep his anger forever.
You look at
He
it.
has not dwelt with us after our sins, nor rewarded us according to our iniquities. For as the heaven is above the earth, so great is his mercy towards them that fear him. As far as the east is from the west, so far has he removed our transgressions from us. Like as a father pitieth his child, so the Lord pitieth them that fear him. For he knoweth our frame, he remembereth that we are dust. As for man, his days are as grass, as a flower of the field, so he flourisheth. For the wind passes over it, and is gone, and the place thereof shall know it no more. But the mercy of the Lord is from everlasting to everlasting upon them that fear him, and righteousness unto children's children, to such as keep his covenant, and to those that remember his commandments to do them. The Lord has prepared his throne in the heavens, and his kingdom ruleth over all. Bless the Lord, ye his angels, that excel in strength, that do his commandments, hearkening unto the voice of his word. Bless ye the Lord, all ye his hosts, ye ministers of his, that do his pleasure. Bless the Lord, all his works in all places of his dominion. Bless the Lord, O my soul. Amen. You're welcome. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Oh, man. God is good. Yeah, Yard Dog. You had us do that one the other morning, man, and I loved it so much. I was like, yeah, we got to keep doing that. This ain't my live, but anybody else want to come up, say a prayer for the family? Let's see if Ronna invites you. If not, I can start us off on a prayer. Yeah, that song was bomb. That's a fact, man. Woo, that just was giving me the chills, man. As I was reading, I was like, oh. Psalm 100. Okay, all right. All right, we'll do Psalms 100 and then I'll say a prayer for the family. Let me know when everybody's at Psalm 100. Psalm 100, and then I will say a prayer. Run it up. Good morning, Paula. Good morning, good night. You have a wonderful day. Blazer's there, Jose's there, Nisi there. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not trying to take nothing from nobody. I love being part of this family. You guys are amazing. It's so fun waking up in the morning, hearing Ron, seeing you guys comment and all that stuff, man. It keeps my days going. Besides the word, it keeps me going, knowing that I get to look forward to hearing from you guys and seeing you guys and giving praise to the Lord. It's amazing. I hear from y'all more than I hear from my own family when it comes to the Lord. All right, everybody there, let's get it. Psalms 100. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before his presence with singing. Know ye that the Lord he is good. Know ye that the Lord, he is God. It is he that hath made us, and not we ourselves. We are his people, and the sheep of his pasture. Enter into his gates of thanksgiving, and into his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him, and bless his name. For the Lord is good, his mercy is everlasting, and his truth endureth to all generations. Amen. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today, this morning. We ask for blessings over our lives. We ask for strength to help us magnify the Holy Spirit and Give us boldness to preach your word to people. We ask that you guide us throughout the day. Bring those who need help to us so we can help them understand what the hope is and who the hope is, which is your Son, Lord Jesus. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for this day. Thank you for the breath that's in our lungs, that is your breath of life that you breathed in us so that we could be living souls and be your servants and to serve you with love and compassion and boldness, Heavenly Father. I thank you for the family that is before me. I thank you for the people that are on this earth. I ask that you protect them, Heavenly Father, those that are in Israel and those that are being persecuted for Jesus' name's sake. Strengthen them and strengthen the Holy Spirit within them to give them peace and to give them boldness to keep on doing what you want us to do for your will, Heavenly Father. In Jesus' mighty name I pray. Amen.
Come on, Jason. Morning.
Amen to that. He is definitely worthy of praise. You're welcome, Goody.
If you want to borrow one of the carts to load it up and walk it over.
You're welcome, Rose.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Dan. Dan, you're welcome. Dan.
You're welcome, Jamisa. Oh, you guys are awesome. Glory be to God. Oh, man. Country Life schedule is Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 4 a.m. But soon we will be going back to every day at 4 a.m. either at Sandy or Brother Ron. All right, the first, the last, that is, that was, and is to come. Amen.
Y'all good?
All right, you guys, I'm about to log off now. Peace be with you all. And God bless you in Jesus' name.
You too, man. I love y'all, man. I appreciate y'all reading with me this morning. What's up, big dog? How you? I'm good. I see, man. My man. Yeah. Everybody okay? Anybody need a Bible, please message Sandy. We will mail you a Bible. We'll buy the Bible for you and send it to you. Okay? I love y'all, man. I do. You two okay now? I love y'all. Thank you for reading. That was a long one, y'all, but we had to get that out. We had to get it out. If you need a Bible, message Sandy Cheeks. You want to go out the live and give her a private message and give her your information. If you live in a house, please specify you live in a house. If you live in an apartment, I love you too, man. Come on, Mortis. You my mentor, bro. Okay? You want to message her? If it's an apartment, put that on there. Or if it's a house, make sure you put that on there. Okay? Oh yeah, I see y'all on the Sabbath day with the power of the Lord and his will and his grace. Henrock, I love you, brother. Thank you so much. I love y'all, man. Study those scriptures. I want you to go over those scriptures today. You got homework, the Hiskos. You want to look up the Hiskos, and you want to find what we read today in the book of Jasher. Man, thank you, brother. Thank you. You want to find what we read today in the book of Jasher. It gives you that in detail. You're going to see Israelites slamming people. I mean, it's crazy. Okay? You people stay blessed with Jesus. Follow his commandments, and y'all spread hope. Y'all give people hope. Give people love. Let them know that you love. You see somebody depleted in their mind, fill it back up with good things, okay? I love y'all dearly. I'll see y'all soon with the power of the Lord, okay? Thank you. That's Big Dan, by the way. He always takes the desk.